episode, and then I forgot the number.
Like it's episode 3.
3.
It's episode 3. It's called Ohh Elayne.
Oh, Elayne. Yeah, I do love the title. Oh, Elayne.
Oh, Elayne.
Oh, Elayne. Listen.
Yeah, I had no idea what
the title though. Sorry, go.
I didn't even know what the title was referring to until I realized. You get halfway through the episode and then you realize what the title's referencing.
Right, and the way they do titles is weird because like some shows, like when the title has like they'll do like a call to title where a character will say the title of the episode out loud, which like sometimes happens in Motherland, but not always. It's more like a comment on one scene, which is I don't even know what to call that. Yeah, so like you're just like, what did it mean? And then, like you said, you're like, oh, it's almost like the person that's tasked with titling the episode was watching that scene with Elayne, and I was like, oh, Elayne. And I was like, that's the episode.
And that was it. Yeah, like they just
yeah, it's like audience commentary versus like, I don't know.
Intern Jerry.
Yeah, I was
like, that in.
That's it. Got it. I'm a genius then.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
it's written by Eli Edelson.
Yeah, and
directed by Jim Gerard.
The minute I saw the name Eli Edelson, I was like, we're fucked. This is going to be dramatic as fuck. There will be tears. She always writes the drama episodes.
Yeah, this is EP Kaitlynn cutting in for an important correction. Contrary to popular belief, Bree and Theora don't actually know everything and can make mistakes. This episode was written by Eli, not Ellie. However, Bree and Theora continue using the name Ellie and she/her pronouns throughout this episode. So to recap, in today's recording, the role of Eli Edelson will be played by Ellie Edelson. Edelson? We thank you for your understanding.
Like always, she loves making us cry. And have emotions.
We did get that, but we also had some confusion.
Oh yeah, her episodes also have questions in them where it's like, ma'am. Oh, Ellie. Like that could have been the name of this episode too. Like, oh, Ellie.
I left this episode with far more questions than I ever. I don't know, but I guess we could start off the first scene with that was like heavily featured in the trailer for season 3. The fugitives running from the Marshals come upon a cliff with a sheer drop of a gazillion feet.
Yes, that is the right term.
With no way to really get around it except for either over or like going to one side or the other. So they all stop right at the edge of the cliff, which seems dangerous, but hey, whatever. And so Tally's keeping watch with her sight, and she says she doesn't see anything, but then they hear the whistle, and Nicte's like, doesn't sound like nothing. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't know if Tally can't see the Marshals or...
That was my thing, was their work counteracting her sight.
I guess maybe. Because you see their whistle revealing work. Maybe it dispels it or clouds Tally's.
Yeah, that's true. It almost seems to me like some kind of... They mentioned later it's a tracking thing, but it's almost like some weird echolocation kind of thing. So like you're saying, maybe when it gets shot out, it like shields her work or somehow.
Something.
Who knows? They just seem super powerful.
Instead of giving her information, it blocks information.
Right, exactly. Like a sight dampener work or something.
Exactly. So Adil picks up a stone, and we assume he's going to make a blood compass with it because they're trying to find Khalida.
Right. He's like, oh, another stone. Perfect. Remember last time he had to search everything? It's just right there. It's like, oh, that's convenient. Yes, perfect.
Perfect. It's right there.
Perfect. It's like destiny.
See, in my mind, he and Abigail have a pet rock collection. Instead, like, because he wants a baby so bad that... Daddy, he just collects rocks.
It's the witch version of like a sack of flour or whatever that you have
It
to like
is.
care for. Rock babies.
Rock babies.
Rock babies.
This one's Jill, and this one's I don't know what are good
This
rock
one's
names.
Tamsin, and
This one's
Bob.
Rocky. I know it's on the nose, but still.
Love our children.
Anyway. And he'll like present each new one to Abigail, and she's like, "You have lost your damn mind."
She like throws them out the window.
Yeah, and
He chases.
Yeah. Oh,
They
my
should not
God,
be
our
parents, is our
headcanons.
point. They're not ready.
Yeah, exactly. Rock babies are fine for now, Adil. But anyway. So Nicte proposes that they make a stand and fight, and Abigail is like, nah, bitch, we're not here to fight the Marshals. That's not what we're doing. And Nicte's like, do you have another idea? And guess what? Guess who's gonna save the day?
So the big witch energy ram's horn to the rescue.
Who's to the rescue? Who brought the salva? However, there isn't enough for everyone.
Because plot reasons.
So as a self-sacrificing person, Scylla's like, Nicte and I can fend for ourselves. We know the session. You guys go ahead and take the salva. Little witch babies who've never been out in the wilderness. And, apart from Adil.
I was going to say.
But he doesn't seem very versed. But no. It's not like Adil was like, had years and years of trying to survive. Like
totally. And also it didn't seem like in this environment either, because the geographical terrain is very different than where he was in the Tarim. So those skills don't always translate, you know?
Yeah, and he seems a little timid about things at times as well.
Totally. Because, yeah, so it's basically new for everybody in a certain aspect.
Right. So Scylla gives them the salva. She and Nicte run off together, and then Adil is pretty dubious about using the salva. She's like, really? This shit's gonna make us fly? Like, I don't really trust it. Whatever. So, but that's when the Marshals appear, and they're like there, right in their sight. And so they take the salva, they jump off the cliff. I think Jess may have had a little problem with the wire situation because the angle at which her body, I think we mentioned it in the trailer.
We definitely
the episode
did.
Where we talked about the trailer. But anyway, they get to the bottom safely, and they're walking through the woods next to a creek while Adil's trying to make the blood compass and pour Kalida's blood onto the stone. And his hands are shaking. So Abigail has to make him stop, and then comforts him. And he's just like, I've almost lost her so many times. So Abigail promises they're going to find her. And you know, when Abigail promises Adil something about Kaitlynn, she's going to pull one of her sisters into this situation somehow. She did it with Raylla. So now Raelle's not there. Tally's the one that can help her because of sight. So we know what's coming as soon as she's just taken on this whole we're going to find Kaitlynn thing for herself, like as a mission.
Ding. Yes.
But we understand. It's Kaitlynn. It's his sister. It's her, like, sister-in-law, pretty much. So, of course, that's what's going to happen. But he makes the blood compass. Tally keeps watch. And then they find out that Kaitlynn is heading north very fast.
Because she's Kaitlynn. She's a super witch.
Super witch Kaitlynn is traveling at the speed of light.
At the speed of Kaitlynn. Yeah, so I have 2 notes on this scene. Number 1, the thing in Scylla's hand was salva all along.
Right, it was salva.
That was.
But I was right that she was sliding something closed.
Yes, you were right. That it was exactly.
Give myself half a point.
Yeah, so go back and revisit our spec episode. Bree was right.
Sort of.
Sort of. You said it was a container that she could collapse, so that's kind of what was happening. So you were correct.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, which, good job there. Had to point that out. And then I also have to point out the fact that the way Adil reacted to the salva makes me think that that's probably not something they have in the Tarim, or Tarim. I will never say it correctly. I apologize. So, but funny enough, so he's probably never used salva, like, ever. So this was probably his first time ever. He had a much better landing than Raylla did the first time she did salva. So good job, Adil. Like, he actually, like, harnessed it and learned it very quickly. So good on you, Adil. That was awesome.
5 points to Adil.
5 points to Adil. He didn't end up in the infirmary. Yeah, well, he was shaking because of Kaitlynn, not because of the salva.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, cool. So after the fugitives get split up for plot reasons, we head on over to the White House, where there's a presidential briefing going on with Wade. And of our witch ladies, we have Anacostia and Isadora in the not Oval Office. It's just this weird rectangle. It throws me off every time. And I'm like, I didn't know what to call this office because it's not the Oval Office, but it is. Whatever. Anyway, they're there.
The executive office.
The executive office. It's Wade's suite. We'll put it that way. And Isadora and Anacostia are talking to Wade, and they're basically like debriefing her on everything that's been going on now that they're like, we can trust Wade. She's not Camarilla, so they're telling her about the Camarilla, essentially. And most notably, they're talking about like VP Silver's role, because that's like her second in command. And they were basically just, they told her, like, basically, you know, he was responsible actually for killing his daughter, you know, the one he's playing up the, oh, my poor, I'm a sad dad, that's why I want to kill the witches who killed my daughter card, and making himself look sympathetic and gaining power by doing that. Yeah, he did all of that. He is actually a monster, killed his daughter, and he's been gaining influence because of that. And Wade's like, what? Are you sure? And they're like, yes, that's actually what's happening here. And Isadora scientifically explains why she knows that, because of course Isadora had to go do this. So one of her secret missions in the background off screen was that she had to figure out like the decay rate of the plague and trace it all the way back to like right before Penelope's interview, and Hearst like pricked her essentially with the witch plague. So it's almost like a death signature that she followed back. And she's like, that's when it all started. And who was there at that time? It was VP Silver and Albin Hearst. And Wade does the math, and she's like, oh, fuck. Okay, so my VP is in the Camarilla and chief of staff. So I guess that's also Albin's position. And she's like, cool, I'm surrounded by this Camarilla scum. So she's like kind of trying to process the fact that like the enemy is like really close to her. And then Anacostia is like, cool, now that we filled you in on this, we need to discuss like what we're going to do, because like General Bellwether totally has a plan about this, and because it's Petra. And Wade's like, but I'm Wade, fuck that. I'm going to do me, and I'm just going to go on TV and publicly humiliate this man. I'm going to veto his bigot bill, and then I'm going to place Blanton under criminal investigation because he killed his fucking daughter, and justice. And Isadora and Anacostia are like, no, Petra has a plan. Don't just
like, calm down.
Don't do that. Now you're making this personal. And like, they're like, listen, like Blanton is gross. We can all agree. He's disgusting. He's won many Laura Neal Awards because he's disgusting. But yeah, he's not like, he's not powerful really. He's just a lackey. Like, we're trying to draw out who like the real leaders are, because we don't know that yet. And they're more important than the underling. So like, if you go gung-ho and just call them out for being the Camarilla basically on public television, that's gonna like cause them to slither back into the darkness, and we don't know who we're really fighting, and that's a big problem. And Wade's like, thanks, but fuck that. This is my cabinet member. It's personal. They betrayed me. Justice. I like a good fight, which that's why I like Wade, for her smug way she delivered that line. We love you, girl. And Anacostia and Isadora are like, cool, we're not going to win this argument because you're the president, you're our boss technically. So we're going to go back to Fort Salem and tell Petra how horribly this went. And so they try to go because now they have to like secure Wade while she like outs the president, her VP. And they try to go, and then a government assistant, Wade's like personal assistant, the person who runs the White House, comes in and is like, listen, Pauline from the Council of the Great Rivers, she's here to talk about that fuck up at the chemical plant in the session. And Wade sighs, so like, I don't think she really likes this woman, and she's like, God damn it, fine. All right, bring her in, you guys leave, basically. And Isadora and Anacostia try to leave, and Anacostia doesn't get super far before Wade's like, Captain Quartermain, you're probably going to want to hear this because this is intelligence that's not good, so I'm going to need your help. So that's where we're at. So Isadora goes back to do Isadora things off at Fort Salem, and then Anacostia and Wade are going to meet Pauline from the Great River Council. Did you have anything about this scene? I have a couple things.
No, all my like observations are pretty much in the next part, the continuance of that scene. So
cool. All right, I just have a couple of things. The name, the Council of the Great River, I assume they're talking about the Mississippi River because that's what like divides the session, basically.
Yeah.
Just observation there. And then I want to talk about the details in Wade's office because it's actually pretty cool. It's not the Oval Office. Obviously, we've talked about that, which doesn't matter. But like on the mantle, because like the angle you get is like kind of like behind Wade's desk to when you're viewing like Isadora and Anacostia, and you can like see the mantle that like is facing Wade's desk. And there's like a crow statue on there, which is really interesting because like American symbolism is usually like eagles, which we stole from the Romans. But they have like a crow, which is almost like a witch symbol, which is pretty cool. So there's like witch stuff in the president's office, which shows how like the government and the witches were kind of intertwined. And that's like back to Sarah Alder, obviously. And the portrait over her mantle, like instead of like George Washington or like whatever, it's this woman that almost looks like Emily Dickinson in a way. And I was wondering if like maybe was this the first president or like a former president who's a woman like above the mantle? I don't know. I just thought that was really cool. There's no portraits of women in the American president's office now. So one last thing before we move on from this presidential Wade scene, and that is, what was Isadora doing off screen? So, yes.
Here we go.
Yes. Oh, so also in this scene, fun little detail. When you get you get a close-up-ish of Isadora when she's explaining how she discovered the witch plague stuff and Penelope's death. She has this little mushroom, like, boutonniere thing on her uniform. It's the cutest thing ever. It's a little mushroom. And so I was like, it can't be like a medal or anything because it's not on like a sash. I was like, what is that? It's clearly something decorative she puts on her uniform. And now, okay, how did it get there? So what is Isadora the type of person who would go out and buy herself like a mushroom brooch and put it on her uniform? Sure. She 100% would be that person. But I like to think that all of her necro minions got it for her as just a thank you for just like being the keeper of the mycelium, the fixer of literally every problem that comes into Fort Salem. And it's just like a mushroom of appreciation for Isadora to like wear on her uniform. So I love it.
That is cute.
Yeah, so I think off screen, because we've never seen her wear it before, I think the necro minions got it for her. They're like, girl, you've been doing like 10 experiments a day and kicking ass and taking names from the necros. We love you.
The Necro Award from all your students.
From all her students.
Like
so she wears her mushroom with pride.
There we go.
So that's what Isadora's doing.
Mushroom.
Isadora's mushroom of appreciation.
A new award.
New award.
Well, we're going to go on to the bus ride from hell.
Yeah. Legit.
Yeah. So the next scene takes us to a bus stop, and we see a bus. Sure. We see the bus outside, and we see we're at a gas station.
I'm sorry, this description is so funny. I love it. Thank you, Bree. Because it's like, just like, it's a transition scene.
Yeah, I know. We're like, so here we are at the bus stop.
There's the bus. Okay.
There's the bus. It's Great Plains Bus Lines. And we're at the travel stop gas station.
Okay, the way we keep naming everything in the session, it's like, we get it. You love nature. Like, we get it.
I just think it's so spot on. It's the Great Plains Bus Line. We're somewhere in the middle of the Great Plains and travel stop. It's where you stop when you're traveling. Gas station.
So literal. The Great River counts. Everything's so literal.
From Adil and his rock babies.
Yes. That's where they got it from. It's old Tarim culture that's seeped in here.
I guess. And so we've got some American flags there, which was interesting to me.
That was interesting.
Alongside a black, like a flag that has like a black, red, yellow, and white circle. Like it's blocked in these colors. And then in the middle, I couldn't tell what the hell it was. I like screen capped it and zoomed in, and I still couldn't tell because it was too pixelated when you zoomed in because I didn't have a close enough shot of it. But the only thing I could come up with is that it kind of looked like a lizard or something.
Oh no!
Which wouldn't track really.
Are they lizard people in the session?
I don't know, but I hope not.
I hope not. Okay, so you think this is the session flag or the like Great
Plains
flag?
Session flag, Great Rivers flag. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's interesting, and I want a better shot of it. So
hopefully later, maybe we'll get a better shot of it somewhere.
I hope so.
Here's thoughts and prayers that it isn't a lizard.
Because everything else in this scene, visually, if you're looking at animals, is a buffalo, which makes sense.
Right. Based on where they are, lizards don't live there, so it doesn't make sense. So
it doesn't make sense, but it's definitely green, whatever it is.
Interesting.
The sign below the flag says Tanya Yaipi, which I'm guessing is the name of the town, perhaps.
Maybe.
But it's definitely in the language, the local native language. So
I love that.
I murdered it. There you go.
Yeah, we're sorry.
We get a shot of Nicte and Scylla walking up from behind the bus, and there's a family that is stopped at the travel stop.
Because they're going to travel.
They're traveling with their minivan, and it's two daughters, I guess, and two parents. And Nicte suggests that they take the faces of the daughters and keep the parents to drive them. So she's like, let's kill the daughters and then use the parents.
Or just
because
knock
Scylla's
them
like,
out and put them somewhere.
No more civilians, Nicte. I'm like, Nicte, really murder this early in the morning? Of children.
Listen, she's been trying to murder this whole episode. She's like, let's fight the Marshals. And they're like, no, Nicte, you can't fight the fucking Marshals.
Yeah, girl, Nicte, don't fight the fucking Marshals. No.
Upset.
And then trying to like murder these two young girls so they can use their faces to travel. Nicte literally tells Scylla that she needs to get Raelle's voice out of her head. Like, no, she doesn't.
Also, like,
you just need to stop wanting to murder people.
Right. I was like, I don't know that was Raelle's voice or like law enforcement or decency. I don't know, Nicte.
I think it was pretty much, I'd rather not kill children, thank you.
Listen, Nicte's projecting because Nicte wants love and doesn't have love. That's what this is.
So she wants to kill children?
Right, so no. I think she's like, you got real weird now that you're in a couple. You don't want to just do whatever.
You don't want to just murder people willy-nilly? I mean, listen, Scylla was down to murder when it was for the cause and they were, and it was like a performative, she was performing an act that was making a point. Correct. She's not for killing children just to get like a free travel in a minivan.
Like, for like survival purposes. Nicte's like, whatever, they don't matter.
Yeah,
like, girl, what?
For all you know, they're witches.
Right. No, totally. Yeah, exactly. This was okay. A lot of Nicte
So
stuff in this episode
strange.
was weird. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why she jumped to murdering children, but here we are. Yeah, the Raylla voice thing, I think that's her projecting her own bullshit
That's her
onto Scylla.
projecting. That has nothing
Yeah.
to do with
And
Scylla.
Scylla's like, what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like
So-
how Scylla pretty much ignores any time Nicte uses Raylla to call Scylla weak
Scylla,
until we get to this episode.
yeah, this episode too, like their scenes are weird because it's almost like when they're talking, neither of them are listening to each other. They're just like saying words and no one's listening because they like ignore each other, like, and just keep talking. It's weird.
I wonder though if it isn't that we haven't seen them alone.
Yeah.
So I think
so
that
even when they're fighting and they have like a common goal, like they're good when they have a common goal. Now the common goal is like don't die, but they're disagreeing on the method of like escaping and not dying. But they're not communicating with each other. They're just like talking at each other. Like listen to the dialogue. It's weird.
I don't think Scylla is so used to dealing with someone who has ideas that are, I think they have vastly different ways of approaching situations.
Problems.
And so it's coming in on they're fundamentally different women who both were super, super independent for most of their lives.
Bingo.
And therefore they're not going to communicate as well.
Totally.
Because no one in this dynamic is used to receiving information from someone like themselves. They're too alike in some ways.
Yeah, 100%. I was wondering if it's also like, at least from Nicte's point of view, like when's the last time Nicte took orders from anybody? Like 30 years, right? And like you could argue that Scylla doesn't like to take orders, but like she was a spree minion for a while. So like she kind of had to. But yeah, I think your point makes a lot more sense. It's like when you're with somebody you're really similar to, you just butt heads. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
But like they're not even like butting heads. It's like really weird. It's like they're just not communicating with each other. Like there's no listening happening. It's interesting. Yeah, for sure. They're not on the same page here at all.
They're not. They're on
like the whole
very
episode.
different pages. And I think part of it is also the fact that although their goal is survival, Scylla's goal is also contact Raylla, period, end of sentence.
Correct.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, correct.
So she's kind of focused on, I'm going to get away, and then once I can stop, I'm going to contact Raylla.
Correct.
Doesn't matter. That's her goal, period.
Correct.
And Nicte keeps saying things like, get Raylla out of your head. And it's like, she's not going to listen. She's not going to listen to that. It's like fundamentally going to make her shut down her listening spaces.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
This is not going to end well.
No, it makes me mad because like I wanted them to work together, but like not like this.
Well, they're not working together. That's the problem.
That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. It's like, but Ellie, I didn't ask for this, Ellie. Do not listen to our podcast. Anyway, sorry. Makes me
so Scylla says, let's just get on the bus. I need to get somewhere safe so I can contact Raylla. And Nicte's like, well, if she doesn't answer, Scylla's like, she will. If she knows what's good for her. End of that sentence in her head.
I will go down into the mycelium myself.
Yeah, I will go down in that mycelium.
I watched Raylla do it. You know she's trying to work that shit out in her head. Let's be real, yeah.
Let's be real. She's like, how can I kill myself but not kill myself and get into the mycelium?
Right.
So this is when it gets real weird. For me.
Right. It keeps getting weirder. That's what I'm saying. Why, Ellie? Why? Why? There are so many directions you could have gone with this, girl. This is where we're going.
Elaine was like somewhere at least chuckling right now about this. So the faces that they use are two nondescript white dudes. that you could probably find in a bar in New Jersey. I don't know. That's just the vibe I got from them. But
Accurate.
the thing that's really getting to me is the fact that the one nondescript white dude that Scylla's using the face of is in her clothes, and it's throwing me off.
I know. That's why like picking that face was so dumb. I was like, girl, it doesn't change your clothes and make this you look any less suspicious.
Do not fit that man. Your necklace is so small.
I know. That's why it's so
the necklace is gonna break.
Okay, my one note for this scene is no one has the brain cell because Scylla didn't think that. Like Nicte's kind of works a little bit with her dude, but like Scylla, it doesn't change the outfit. Like pick the wrong body type. Like everything was wrong about that. It was just it makes you look more suspicious.
I guess she's just like
I
want to be as different from myself as possible, and this is the face that I have that's as different that no one's seen.
Right.
But still, it's just girl.
Exactly, because she doesn't have her brain cells. So all she thought of was this face is different and didn't think of anything else that was going on. Just the face.
Can you at least take the necklace off, button the jacket up? I don't know.
Yes, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like camouflage the body that doesn't fit in those clothes anymore. Yeah, it just
I guess it was just meant to be funny.
That's what I'm assuming. And it was.
But
for people trying to evade capture by these marshals that
it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Exactly. It makes no sense. I was taken out of the experience by that choice.
The entire bus scene after that, I can't.
Right.
Like when they step on the bus and they're like,
I'm like,
we're going to need 2 tickets to the border. And I'm like,
I can't with the scene. I know.
No.
It's just
can I have a refund?
Right. Can I unsee this? Because it really bothers me what happens with the two of them, like these choices, because they're the smartest ones there. And it's like,
why are you making them dumb as fuck?
Why are you making them dumb as fuck? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what their scenes together going forward make me really upset because of all the characters, they wouldn't make these choices. Like, it's almost like they lost their brain cell, forgot who they were, except like they remembered it's like they got amnesia all of a sudden and then remembered pieces from their past life. Like, oh yeah, I should pick a different face, but like forgot everything else. And they just do weird stuff that's like not it's not totally in their character. So it's like, it reads really weird for me. That's all. For the
they have one moment of brilliance in this entire thing with them together, and then after that, before and after that, I'm like, I don't understand what force we're in. We're lost.
Right. Anyway, all of that.
This is the one time I'm happy to go back to President Wade.
Yeah, I know. This is the one time I'm happy to leave Scylla and Nicte and go somewhere else.
Like,
Ellie, you did this.
You made us happy to leave our girls.
Listen, I knew we were going to get upset during this episode, so I purposely picked this koozie that says keep calm and be gay. Because we need to remind ourselves this is normal.
First part's going to happen, though.
I know. Just try.
I wore my science is not a liberal conspiracy shirt, so I don't know what that is.
That's for Isadora, for her mushroom award.
Yes, it is. I wish there was a mushroom on the shirt.
That would be amazing.
It would be.
All right. Thank you for the happy science feels. Okay, we will go back to the not so oval office where Pauline is now here from the Great River Council to talk to Wade, and Wade like goes immediately into like diplomat mode and like greets her in the native language. I think it was I'm gonna butcher it. I won't say it out of respect, but basically greets her in their indigenous language, which I think it's the same language from like I think it's season 2 where Petra was on season 2 when they were in the session and there's like news TV when Raylla's in the diner with her dad. I think that's the same language. So it must be like the common language in the session, I think, or like the dominant language. I'm sure there's multiple, but anyway. So Wade knows to greet her, and then Pauline's like, okay, cool. Yeah. You remember our customs. she immediately takes a seat. Like, she's been there plenty of times and owns the place. And she's like, let's talk about this chemical plant attack in the session, because, like, what the fuck? Why was the bellwether unit there? So immediately she's just, like, showing her hand, like, I know exactly what's going on. I need answers now. Wade, these are your people. And Wade's like, you got proof that it was the bellwether unit? Because I have been looking for them. And if I knew, I would have caught them. Obviously, Pauline. And Pauline's like, listen, we had security footage. It was dark, but, like, I talked to your VP, and he was real sure that it was them. And he offered us all kinds of assistance to bring them to justice, because this is super personal to him. They killed his daughter. And so Kelly, again, is more confirmation to her to, like, cool, not only is my VP in the Camarilla, but he's actively, like, going behind my back and, like, doing stuff. So I think this, like, puts the real, like, danger of Silver, like, into perspective for Wade, like, the stuff that he's been doing. And she's like, cool, he offered to help you. How about I offer to help you? Because I'm his boss. I have more power than him. And I also have this witch military. How about I send them in there, give us access, like, they'll go in the session and get them out, and then take them off your hands, those troublemakers that ruined your plant. And the minute that part is brought up, like, American army coming into the session, like, sounds like an invasion, and she's like, yeah, I don't know about that. Because it seems like session, from everything we know in this conversation, like, the session likes to keep the session business to themselves. They like to keep America out of the session as much as they possibly can. And she's like, besides all of that, like, political stuff, I'm personally really curious what the bellwether unit has to say about this whole thing. Which Anacostia cuts in and she's like, that's a national security issue. Like, no, we have to debrief them first, because America. And Wade's like, okay, before this gets out of hand, she, like, turns on the political charm and basically insinuates in, like, this friendly but threatening way that, like, listen, you should take me up on my offer to let me help, because if you don't, basically I'm going to use my political influence to cause issues between the United States and the session if you don't cooperate. So, like, trade embargoes, and make things run less smoothly than they are now. Because remember, you're trapped in between my entire country. So play nice with me. And so after that, Pauline switches tactics and seems a little bit more, like, pro-America. And she's like, listen, I get that we're good friends. Not everyone on the Great River Council thinks that, but I do, because she knows how to play the politics game. And she's like, but hard pass on the army. We don't need them, because we have the Marshals, and the Marshals are searching for the bellwether unit. And basically, like, they're better than your army. They'll find them. I don't need your army. And what I think is really cute is during this whole thing when she's, like, defending or saying, we got this session, the session marshals are going to find her. Anacostia jumps in and she's like, listen, the bellwether unit are the most formidable witches I've ever come across. Which is, like, what a proud, like, Mama Costia moment. Like, listen, the bellwether unit can't hear this. Like, so she genuinely, like, believes that, like, they're a force to be reckoned with. So I love that. Like, love for Mama Costia, even though, like, the unit's not there. That was cute.
That was cute.
Yeah.
So my notes on this scene has to do with, my read of it was that Pauline came in with the intent to kind of poke around at Wade and see what she could get for basically giving her the information that Silver has gone behind her back.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of underestimated Wade's prowess or willingness to threaten her. And so I feel like it was almost like Pauline was poking around to see if she could get anything out of this situation, and then kind of had to retreat back when it was clear that Wade was not gonna, like, Wade was gonna take the threat route rather than the here's some nice things for you route.
Do you think Pauline's conspiring with Blanton?
No, I just think Pauline is out for Pauline and maybe the Great River Council. Totally. And was thinking, if I give her this information and tell her that Silver's, like, trying to get in the session government behind her back, maybe she'll give us something, positive for our giving that information, or she'll feel threatened that we're going to take Silver up on that offer and try to win us over with, like, good things like the
I see.
politics do.
Yeah, so she was trying to use it as like a political chess piece to get one over.
Yes,
on
a political
Wade.
chess piece to get whatever she wanted.
That makes sense.
Or whatever the council wants.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Yeah, but like Wade was like, listen, I'm Wade. Remember.
I'm Wade.
I'm Wade.
I may not be a witch, but I've got big witch energy, so.
I like a challenge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I like that read. That's a good read.
So my other thing to comment on here is Anacostia is not good at politics. She's good at intelligence.
No, correct.
Kelly, on the other hand, is amazing at it and has like beautifully veiled threats and promises.
You gotta love the way she just maneuvered that whole thing. She like greets her in her language, like, hey, friend. And then she's like, I will burn the session if you don't do what I tell you.
Yep.
If you don't let me help you. Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Oh, so good. Yeah. She's awesome. I love Wade. You don't want to be on her bad side.
No, of course not. There's a reason that she's the president.
Fuck yeah.
4
more years.
Yeah, those are 4 more years.
4 more years.
Those are my comments on that scene.
I love it.
Do we have to?
I know. It keeps getting worse. Ellie, you might get the Laura Neal Award, Ellie.
The bus
fuckery.
Back to the bus ride from hell.
Mm-hmm.
So the bus, I guess the bus driver announces that they're approaching the U.S.-Dakota border in 20 minutes. But shortly after that, like in the next second, the bus stops. So
we're almost there. Oh, wait, we gotta stop.
It's not 20 minutes.
I know. But also, like, it kind of tells us where they are geographically. So they're like the north part of like America somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's cold.
So the main marshal comes on the bus and apologizes for the inconvenience of having to stop the bus. So he's walking along the aisles and Nicte tells Scylla to stay calm, and she does not.
Stay calm.
She's getting
Scylla.
super...
Read it,
Scylla. Seriously.
Stay calm.
She's getting more and more nervous in her dude skin by the second.
Looking even more suspicious.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Nicte was doing like a super better job over there.
She was more hidden in the seat. That was what she had going for her versus Scylla's in the aisle all exposed.
Yeah. With her tiny, tiny necklace and her giant man neck. It's so disturbing to me.
So, just a bad choice, Scylla.
I want to know, he literally fit into her clothes, or did they have to get him other clothes?
I would love to know the answer to that question.
He couldn't have fit into her clothes.
No,
We've was seen too broad. How tiny a model is.
I know.
They had to buy 2 of those jackets. Those are expensive jackets.
Yeah, there's no way he could have fit in her jacket. Yeah.
That jacket is real leather.
Yeah, it's a fucking nice jacket.
Anyway. Apart from the clothing, the marshal sees them right away and recognizes that there's work at hand. He does his little whistle, or he says, how you do, ladies? And then he whistles and dispels their faces. They go back to their original faces. And of course, to escape, Scylla windstrikes the window. They jump out and run. The marshal walks up, sticks his head out the window, and just smiles. He's having so much fun. This is like his vacation for the year or something. I don't know. It's like he's on safari.
He's like, you're just prolonging the inevitable, ladies. Right. Thank you, EP Kaitlynn. He could have literally just grabbed them in that butt. Anyway, there's so many gaucheries in this whole Scylla Nicte stuff.
I honestly think he's just enjoying chasing them.
I agree with you. I think he's like, I got nothing else to do.
It's a sport for him.
Right. Okay. But I have.
Well, yeah, but he's done that so many times, though. He's come
No,
upon.
I'm with you.
They could have captured them 93 times, but no, he just lets them go because he likes chasing them. Sorry, I was responding to Kaitlynn.
Oh no! Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Oh, then I saw AP Kaitlynn. AP Kaitlynn is not over the fact that he could have grabbed them in this bus and he didn't, which is a valid thing to point out. I have one more thing about this scene that I need an answer to. Okay. What we've learned so far about the Marshals, or at least this whistling stuff, it's like the most powerful magic we've seen so far for like negating other magic. So like the idea is that when he whistles, it negates all work, right? That's the premise.
Right.
Right? Why the fuck when he gets into this bus, he does the whistle work to get rid of the face changing shit? Why do we not see Arlen when this happens?
Because it only removes one layer of magic.
Is that what it is?
Work.
So if they had double faces on, then it wouldn't have it should have gone to Arlen's face. So like I have two things. Either it's like only one layer of magic. So it's not the super undoing of magic type of thing. So like if you had two faces on, maybe just the first face. The other thing is like, is Nicte so powerful that like she can somewhat withstand this work with her work?
I don't know, but
it's just
if we're going by it dispels all work, then it would have gone to her ruined face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, shouldn't we have
seen
you were
like
just
saying like the young Arlen?
No. I mean, like, shouldn't we have seen what Tally saw when Arlen's like, "This is my face"? Like,
I'm guessing that it was just for plot purposes but my only working theory is that it only gets rid of one layer of work. It's my only theory.
And that's a valid theory. You're going to need to explain the session work, Elliot, because it's not mathing right now.
Add it to the list, the list that's longer than the list that could stretch around the world 5 times.
Kaitlynn, add us to our question list, please.
It's true.
It just confused me because I'm like, well, what is the truth? What is her face? But anyway, your theory, it makes sense. So
I want to know how many faces upon faces upon faces Nicte wears on a regular basis.
That is the other question. Like, does he have to keep doing the work and like it just keeps going like one face to another face to another face till you finally get to like Nicte's real face? Yeah. He's like, who the fuck are you? God damn. Yeah.
What is your real face?
Who are you?
Do you even have a face?
Right. Anyway, do you even have a face? She doesn't. It's just like a blur.
It's just a void.
He's like, oh, never mind. Put it back. I'll never whistle again.
Take your own face.
No, it's
unwhistle.
She's like wearing his face at one point.
Oh man, that's meta.
Dude, that'd be so freaky.
That would be so freaky. It would make sense in this episode where nothing makes sense.
Right. Now is the time to do that fuckery for like you had Scylla in the weird man body with the shirt that's too tight. Like could Nicte not have had the Marshals face? Like, anyway.
God, I'm still disturbed by that freaking dude Scylla turns into.
The necklace is super disturbing too, because it obviously doesn't fit. Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. That's the 18-inch chain on Amalia is perfectly sized, and you put it on this guy, and it's a choker. Did you go to Hot Topic, sir? I don't
know. Yeah, for that bird feather. For real, he's
Claire's having a sale.
He looks like he got back from Claire's. You're so right. We need to laugh because there's pain on this episode.
So much pain.
This is us keeping calm. Okay. We'll move on to it. It has been a long everything. with pain and fury. Fuck you, Kaitlynn.
Oh,
all right, we're gonna use that motto for the rest of this episode. With pain and fury, yes. Let's move forward. Okay, so
fury, that's us.
That's our tagline.
That's our tagline.
All right, so we're gonna cut away from the Dakota border to another part of the session where Adil, Abigail, and Tally are like emerging from their time in the woods, and they come up to like an They come up to an
It just sounded funny. I'm sorry. Their time in the woods like they were banished.
Well, they emerge like creatures. They're like, whoa, where are we? Is that the road?
Like they were on a writer's retreat.
Right. Or like they were at camp, like with a camp group, and they got separated, and they've been out there for way too long, and they're like, the fuck are we? But apparently Adil remembers a bunch of stuff from where they passed. That can't be what happened. It keeps getting weirder. So they emerge from the woods. They're at this very unkept looking bus stop. It's got like vines growing on it. So like they're really coming out of the woods, and there's a street now. And Adil's like, cool, civilization, and starts like marching into whatever this town is. Because he's just like freaking out because Kalita's moving real fast. They're not moving fast enough. And he's just like, what if the Marshals have her? What if the Camarilla has her? He's freaking out. So he's like on Scylla's level, but worse right now of just like, I need to get Khalyta. Nothing else. Logic is he lost his brain cell. He's just thinking about Khalyta. So Abigail has her brain cell and she's like, listen, you need to stop because we're fugitives. There's people, a town. What if we get captured? Then we can't help Khalyta. So it's like what Nicte says later. Like, you can't help her if we're captured. So let's take a second and let's use Tally. Because she can look into the future. Because apparently, according to Abigail, it's really dirty to use Nicte's version of work unless it's in the service of something Abigail wants, like helping Khalyta. So now she's like, hey, spree works totally fine now. Please use it to get Khalyta. Because Abigail doesn't make any goddamn sense. Whatever. Anyway. And Tally has her brain cell too. And she points out right now, she's like, listen, this shit is dangerous. Like Nicte showed me what happens if this goes awry. This is dangerous. I don't think I should use this right now. Like, let's just keep doing what we're doing. Because I don't want what happened to Nicte to happen to me, which she doesn't say out loud, but that image is obviously in her mind. And Abigail's being Abigail, and she's like, listen, Tally, please do it because I said so. And Tally, being Tally, is like, fine, I'll do it because I love you. And so Tally basically harnesses her powers real fast to like look far enough in the future to find the moment where they find Khalyta, and basically communicates out loud what she's seeing to Abigail and Adil. And she's like, we walk into this place called Two Rivers Roadhouse where there's a bar. For some reason, your sister's there. And then Adil hears the name Two Rivers, and he's like, cool, we passed that. Let's go. Because apparently he's good at navigating one of those areas. And they go towards Two Rivers.
Yeah. Listen.
I
don't like it. It's once like again Abigail like, hey,
being a hypocrite.
I have this point I'm gonna stand on, and then when I need something, the point disappears. Oh, how freaking like the right person's never there to point that out to her either.
Thank you. And also, I love how she's just dismisses Tally, who's Tally's like, this is dangerous. And Abigail's like, I don't give a fuck about you. Find Khalyta. Like, it's just like, Abigail, like, I can't. It's like...
She ignores everything except her own need to help Adil.
Yes, because it serves Abigail.
Yeah.
Right. It's just... And then she was... Because, like, in the what was the last episode before, where she was, like, basically getting mad at Raylla for, like, caring about somebody else more than the unit. And, like, here's Abigail ignoring her unit mates, like, safety warning. It's like, Abigail, like, do you or do you not care about your unit? Like, make up your mind.
Do you
What's going
know
on?
what is coming? Like, do you remember what happened in the recent past? Like, I feel like she just,
Right.
whenever anything
What
comes up
happened?
that she needs, she conveniently forgets everything that has happened before, everything that she said, every principle she stood on.
Yeah, it's weird.
She just switches lanes so quickly that it's disconcerting.
Totally. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, so
The
it's
only thing argument in my head that I can come up with that someone might do to use to defend her is like she's worried about her sister-in-law / Adil worrying about this and she needs to fix it. And I'm like, yeah, but she just got on to somebody, to Raylla. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any. It's still that read of it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That read of it makes her a worse person, in my opinion.
It actually makes her worse. It's like what it's the meme from The Good Place where it's like that's worse. You do see how that's worse, right? Because that's worse. You're
Exactly.
admitting your read of Abigail is that Abigail is completely selfish. That's what that read is. Because Abigail cares about you if you're serving Abigail. But when you stop, like, she just threw Tally under the bus. Like, she just did it. After it's like, oh, we're not so unity right now or whatever. And she was all mad about that and throwing Raylla under the bus for, like, dreaming, not even actively doing it, dreaming about, like, running away with Scylla one day. And it's all like, we're not a unit anymore. And, like, here's her unit mate being like, if I do this, I could, something bad could happen to me. And Abigail's like, just do it because we need to find Kalita for me. Where's your unit? You're not listening to Tally. Like, it's just, where's everybody's brain cell? It hurts. It does hurt. It's like, Abigail, what happened? I thought you
I feel
guys
like Abigail made so much progress, and then
yes,
she's taken
right. She's regressing.
She's taken 30,000 leaps backwards.
Yes, yeah. This is nothing against Abigail the character. It's just exactly what you said. It's almost like she's regressing for some reason, and I don't understand why. Because didn't they have a month to bond? Why are we here? Why are we here? How is this growth? It's like she's regressing for some reason.
I guess the only thing I could think is that she's been in this situation that's very uncomfortable for her and she's having to deal with, but then again, it just smacks of privilege.
Yes.
Because she's there getting mad at Raylla for fucking being in love with the woman that she wants to spend the rest of her life with. Because let's fucking face it, if it came down, like I said before, if it came down to her choosing Adil or her unit, unfortunately, I do not think I don't know what kind of chance Abigail's going to choose Abigail.
Yes, that's what it is. Exactly. Because this is the scenario. This is her choosing Adil or the choice right now is like Adil and his sister versus Tally, aka the unit.
Yes.
Abigail's picking the choice that's best for Abigail, which is like to get Kalita, to make him happy, to make her happy. It just comes back to it's always for her own self-interest, and it's just like,
because her choosing the unit and going that way would, for previous things, or getting mad at Raylla for not choosing the unit, was for Abigail too.
Yes. So I guess she really hasn't changed. I know, it's just very frustrating that we're still here. Come on, Abigail, you can do it, girl. Anyway, I don't love it. Unfortunately, we go to a worse scene.
I can't believe we're at a point where I'm so much. Like, I started out this series not really sure about Petra and being like, okay, Abigail's getting better. And now I'm like, I fucking love Petra to death. And Abigail, I want to punch in the face.
I know.
All the time.
Abigail, when this is over, you need to spend like a solid year with just your mom. And just learn everything about her and just be Petra. She figured it all out, girl. She's a shining beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope she surprises me.
Me too. I am hoping something happens. and she really learns like what empathy is and like what actually loving people is, because like I still don't think Abigail gets what that means. I think she knows how to love Abigail and show affection to get love for Abigail, but I'm like, do you really like care about these people, or are you still like doing self-serving things like by using these people? Because it still reads that way, and it's like, I really want you to get past that and just grow when it comes to that, but it doesn't read like that's really happening.
I'm trying to think back of any selfless acts that we've seen Abigail do.
I mean, if you can read it that way, the witch bomb with Raylla at the end of season 1, where she held on to her and linked.
Yeah.
There was that. That
was the moment where I was like, okay, Abigail really is, and then.
But it seems like
she got jealous because she wasn't a part of the witch bomb.
That's what I'm. Yes, that's what I mean. It's almost like it's not permanent with Abigail. It's almost like she has to really be feeling it, and then like you could do something to piss her off, and she's like, "I'm not gonna link with you." Like, you know what I mean? It's just like it's fickle almost. Like it's almost like it's not real, like, or lasting with her. It's weird. That's why, like, your question of would she pick a deal. Yeah, it's situational. Exactly. Because here we are with the situation, and she's like, it's always the unit first, and like, here's the unit versus Adil, and she's like, no, Abby, no, Tally, I'm going to need you to possibly harm yourself for the. Yeah, it's situational. It's just up to, and again, it comes back to what Abigail wants in that moment. It's frustrating. That's not what good leaders do. Is what like. Yeah. Petra would never, is all I'm saying.
Abigail hasn't saved their asses once this entire time.
Who's been saving their asses this whole time? Who, Bree? Remind the audience. Scylla Big Witch Energy Ram's Horn.
And getting no respect.
No. None.
I think I really want to attribute all this dumbassery that she does in this episode to just being so fed up with not getting respect that she goes bananas.
You know what? I'll take this part of the read. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
Intrigue.
Because she's not getting what she wants right now, honestly, Scylla, like, emotionally. So she's got a lot of emotions that she can't really deal with. Yeah, I think that's part of it. And she's being disrespected. I'll take that. And she just, because it takes a lot for Scylla to like lose it. So
it does.
That started it, you know, and then now the unthinkable is happening, you know.
So the whole time she's just been trying, and even like Raylla was disrespecting her when they were in episode 1.
Real. Taylor, how could you? I can't believe it. How could you? Could you, girl?
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know.
I hate that I just remembered that.
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All of that to avoid talking about this next thing.
I'm like, we are super stalling because of this next scene.
I have to say the word Albie.
Listen, Albie. It makes me want to punch her more.
I know. Kara is so creepy.
She's
more creepy than Albin.
Thank you.
In some ways.
Yes, I have thoughts about her in the scene. It's really creepy.
She's like weirdly his creepy sister / mother, and I'm not understanding why we're in the Bates Motel right now.
Ellie, why are we here, Ellie? I thought this episode, like, why are we here? Why is this happening? Why
is this happening to me? Why do I have to see this?
You're so right. No, the read of this is like, yeah, daughter, mother, like, what is this relationship? It's so weird.
It changes each time she speaks. And
yes!
I'm like...
Yes! I'm just grossed out the whole time. It's so weird.
It's so reading weird. Like some kind of strange... I don't want to say that.
Like culty.
Oh, God.
It's so weird. It's almost like they're from one of those societies that's like closed off from the world and they don't talk to people from the outside. And it's like she's
Yeah.
fulfilling multiple roles, like cult leader,
Thank you.
mom, daughter, wife. And you're
But
like,
some of them are
what
even
is this?
creepier.
Yes.
The affection that she shows him is so creepy.
Everything is creepy. And everything like pivots like you said, like every time she says something, she pivots like 90 degrees and you're just like, I have whiplash at the end of the scene.
I don't want to know anything they ever got up to in previous.
Never.
Like,
I never
tell
want
me
the
that
flashbacks.
story.
Never send us the fan
Never.
fiction. I will
Please
burn
don't.
it. No.
I'll burn my computer.
My computer off the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't want to see it.
No, thank you.
No.
So Albin gets back to his office and Kara is waiting for him with her feet up on his desk. And first of all, she calls him Albie. It's disturbing. I don't like it. Can I get out of here? I'll even go back to Scylla as a weird dude at this point.
That made more sense. I'm so with you.
I'm like,
I wish Scylla as that dude was in this office. It'd make me feel better.
There's one. The only good thing that came out of this scene is that I was live tweeting from the
Big
podcast Twitter account, and as soon as this scene happened, I said, I am so uncomfy.
Oh, yeah.
Liking that tweet, and I was like, okay, so it's not just me.
No. I mean, she was watching this episode for the first time too, and was like, yes, accurate.
Oh, every time. Oh, man. Oh,
man. But yeah, that is the best definition of this whole scene. Uncomfy.
So I do want to note some things about Albie's office.
Yes, please do.
It's very clinical, like white and gray, or white and silver, I should say. Anatomy posters, the walls are white. You see a coat rack, like an old school coat rack with an overcoat and his white lab coat. Behind the desk, you see his degrees, so he's a real doctor. We don't know what kind.
Bob wouldn't tell us.
Bob wouldn't tell us. And also a really cool typewriter. So.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's badass.
Yeah.
It's
a really nice.
Computers.
Like, it was a really nice. It looked like something from the 70s typewriter.
I love that. I can see him having a typewriter for sure.
I could too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everything in that office was very, very neat. Mm-hmm. Even the papers he had one of those in and out type.
Yeah. The
incoming and out
divider bins.
Divider bins and everything was super neat.
That seems like the type of person he is. Like, that's a reflection of his personality for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So Albin is obviously injured. He's got his broken nose, black eyes, his limp from the fight with the witches.
Good.
Yeah, right. Thank you. So you get the impression that he's surprised that she's there. And she says that he looks awful. And she has this most like drippy, sympathetic voice, like you talk to a dog or a child in.
It's disturbing.
I don't like it. Can you stop? Mm-hmm. He and automatically he goes into this subservient role, like automatically, like he's a little boy.
Yes. No,
totally. And apologizes and says that it took him longer to get out of the session than he thought. And she's like, you must be tired. Sit down. And I'm like, what is going on? Mm-hmm. So he sits down in a chair opposite his desk. So we're showing a power dynamic here.
We sure are.
So he's not behind his desk. She is. And then she continues in that syrupy voice, like, I can't imagine what you've been through. It's like, they caught us unaware. I don't know how they knew, but they did. And then Kara gets up and gets really close to him and it gets creepier. She puts her hands on his face and strokes his nose, and it hurts my everything because we know his nose is broken.
Mhm.
But she goes, "No, I'm no fancy doctor like you, but I think those girls broke your nose." And then she immediately like pushes it back in place.
Because she's the devil.
Because she's the devil.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm not a doctor, but I'm a bitch.
Exactly. I've been in many a closed reduction of a nasal fracture. And let me tell you, you want to be under anesthesia when that happens.
Yeah, totally.
Because they don't, like, she did that with her hands. That's not how you do that.
With no warning and her hands. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And you're right.
First
You're
of
not
all,
a doctor. How do you know you were fixing it, not making it worse?
Yeah, she could have seriously, like, she could have totally fucked his septum up and, like, done something really bad. Like, shoved some septum into his sinuses or something.
Yeah, like, totally. She could have just damaged
your brain's
his
right
breathing.
there, y'all.
Yes, I know. That made me mad. I was like, I get we're doing it for drama, but she could have, like, really injured him. And, like, he's your
This is where our medicalness comes out.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It hurt me so much, not only because it would hurt, but also because she's doing it so badly.
Yes.
Just to make a point.
I know. She's really gross.
So she's basically scolds him for failing, and he apologizes profusely and agrees that he failed the cause. And then now that he's being so, like, just word vomiting apologies, she says, "We all stumble sometimes, Albie.
Albie again.
With our crusade at hand, we can't afford any of your failures." She's coming off like the evil, like a cartoon evil genius taking over the world type person.
Who is the, like, you ever see The Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah, 93 years ago.
Yeah, and it's like, who is, like, the villain in that movie? It was that woman who's, like, thinks she's the mastermind, like, running around. That's what Kara kind of is, but not funny or likable.
No, she's just creepy. She's
creepy.
She's creepy in that fundamentalist Christian grew up in a cult way.
Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier. I don't like this. This is not Pinky in the Brain. Get her ass out of here.
Please.
So,
soon.
God, somebody better kill her. I mean, Scylla needs to kill Albin.
Right.
But
you know
I
what?
really want...
Go. Who do you want to... Wait, go. If you finish.
For Kara, I think... I don't know. That's a hard one. Actually, I kind of want Petra to kill her.
That would be amazing. Okay, listen. I'm here for Petra murdering. That'd be wonderful. Raylla, if she needs to kill somebody to... whatever, sure. Also, Nicte, it just wants to murder anyone. I would just go kill her because she would do it now. You know? She would do it now. She'd be like, whatever, kill that bitch.
Do it now.
That's what I mean.
Kill that bitch.
Need it to happen fast. Nicte would do it fastest.
Petra would don't murder children. Murder Kara.
Go murder Kara. It's for the cause.
Like,
because I need my sanity.
Murder so bad when they had out. Like, just murder him. Murder them both.
Anyway, sorry.
So she basically tells them not to fail again, and then tells them there are some critical developments at the White House. So she's heard through the grapevines, aka Blanton, that Kelly's about to make a move, and so she has to go help him because he needs her. After she leaves, he trashes his office.
As one does after talking to Kara.
Pounds the desk. As one does, because, I mean,
Kara.
Also, she, like, re-broke his nose.
Yeah, his nose was bleeding after that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what happens. So, I mean, there's a very sensitive, like, triangle right inside your nose that has all the blood vessels, and then if she fucked that shit up. Anyways, so he stops trashing his office because he has like a thought that occurs to him. So he straightens up into his normal Albin, like, I'm not a child being talked down to by a strange woman posture. Walks around his desk and sits down, and he makes a phone call to someone in the building, because it's not like he's dialing a bunch of numbers. He's dialing an extension or something.
Totally.
And he says, prepare the operating room and bring our top specimen. It's time. And I don't like it.
No.
Where's Nicte's murderous rage when you need it?
Listen, I always need it. Now would be a great time, though, Nicte. Come on now. Why wasn't that bus headed here?
WINB. Where is Nicte Batan?
Where is Nicte Batan? Okay. I have a couple of non-Nicte things about this scene. One of them you talked about a little bit. The power dynamic crap that's happening here. Like, I get the sense from this scene that, like, Kara might be higher up in the Camarilla organization than Albin, because we know he's the doctor, head of research, maybe, but she seems to have more power than him, and I think that's kind of why she's talking down to him a little bit, too. Or Albin just has crazy mommy issues, which definitely happens with Christian fundamentalists, so that wouldn't be out of...
Oh, yeah. God, yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, the way she talks to him, it's like mommy's here, and he just, like, cowers into, like, little scared boy mode, which is weird from what we've seen from Albin. So this is either an Albin doesn't know how to deal with women thing, which fundamentalist Christians, that reads, or she's just more powerful than him in some way, shape, or form, and he's like, crap. Or she has, like, a connection, maybe, to, like, whoever's actually in charge, and he's like, okay, I have to play ball. And so he, like, gives her whatever she wants, kind of thing. I'm not sure which one it is. It could be either. It could be both. Either way, it's creepy. Then, later, when she's talking to him, she uses the word crusade, which is very specific Christian language. So it's just more reinforcement of, like, they're trying to do a war that's under the guise of holiness, or some higher purpose that's, like, really about genocide, which is, like, their shit. So, like, even the language is very, like, indicative of, like, what they're trying to do. So I like that word because it's very fitting for just all of this.
Where have we heard that before? Jeez. Crusades, inquisitions.
Witch hunts.
Witch hunts. We're back.
Christianity gone wrong.
Christianity again. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very culty.
I really feel like they know each other before.
I do too.
Like, they may not actually be related in some way, but I feel like they maybe grew up alongside one another somehow.
Right. Or, like, we're in circles, like social circles together. Yeah. But, like, again, there was a power imbalance for sure. Yeah. That's always existed.
It feels like he was always kind of the weird dude that everybody kind of was like, oh yeah, Albie. And she was like the super popular.
Right. Fit right into whatever it was. He was the outcast.
Mm-hmm.
The weird guy. He almost gives me, like, he was the orphan in whatever social circle they were in. Like, he was adopted in versus she was bred into whatever this is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of vibes. So she can talk down to him because of those archaic social structures, which the Camarilla is an archaic social structure. Yeah, exactly. So he has to, like, prove himself even more because he feels like he doesn't really belong. So he has to constantly prove himself. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why he's getting more extreme with his experiments. He's like, this may not be ready, but fuck it. I screwed up. She saw I screwed up. I have to prove myself. Pull the trigger. For the crusade or the cause or whatever, and also for me, you know. So.
Oh yeah. There's nothing in this episode that I'm just, like, happy about. To be honest,
literally nothing. Well, okay.
Nothing made me happy. Okay.
When we get to the fan fiction later, that made me happy, like, for like 5 minutes. bar
only
scene.
thing that gave me a spark of happiness, like real happiness, was the fact that even though this next scene makes my brain explode, at least it was hot.
Well, okay, the hot scene is your scene later. This is the setup to the hot scene later. That also makes me angry.
That's true. Sorry, I forgot. I wanted to go to the hot scene, okay?
I know, which understandable. We will get there. But first, we have to get through this transition scene. So, let's get through it. So, we're back to the spree women who are marching through the woods in the daytime. Granted, we know they're on a mountain, I assume, because there was a cliff. They're in a bunch of trees. It's daylight. They find this abandoned barn with a murder of crows inside. And Scylla's like, perfect. Birds, it's abandoned. Let's stop here and like rest. Because she wants to contact Raylla. That's been her whole mission. She's like, we have enough distance between us and the bus. Let's just hang out here for a little bit, recuperate. Because realistically, they've been running for like over 24 hours and none of them have slept. So like, they probably should sleep. But Nicte's like, I've seen this film before. I don't like the ending. Like, we should keep moving because they're hunting us. We need to just keep moving. And Scylla does not hear Nicte because they're not communicating right now. And she just goes to the barn. And Nicte's like, I guess.
She just ignores her. Period.
Right. And Nicte's like, I guess we're a team. I'll just follow you. So they go in the barn, and Scylla's like, cool. You sleep first. I'm gonna search the barn and look for birds. And Nicte's like, whatever. And so Nicte goes to sleep. Scylla looks around, finds a dead bird, and like call back to the scene with the death cap in season 1. Dead bird. We all know where this is going. I want to note something when Scylla finds the bird, or when she's looking out in the back of the barn, the spree music kind of starts to play, like that classic spree theme song, but it's a different melody, which I thought was interesting. It's almost like it morphs into something else, and I'm wondering if that's indicating something about Scylla and Nicte and like their relation to the spree, or if it was more about Scylla because it was kind of her they were focusing on. But it was just kind of curious that like that melody is shifting as like the spree stuff is shifting, or the spree ladies are switching MOs. I thought that was interesting. The first time I heard it.
Yeah. It kind of felt like you had the spree ladies, but they're so divided right
oh yeah
now. I don't know,
totally. I meant like
and
their
Scylla's
journeys like maybe individually versus like they're not together right now. Like I don't know.
There's a couple of things that I saw. I found one line funny. When Scylla says, "Look, there's a moldy old mattress with your name on it," like I don't know. It just felt like such a Scylla thing to say, to dismiss Nicte. Like, go sleep on a moldy mattress, Nicte.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The tension keeps ratcheting with these two because they're not communicating, and they're just like throwing insults at each other. So,
but I also need to point out that I lied. The only other thing that made me happy in this episode is the fact that the crows are back. Scylla's crows are back, because we haven't seen them. We've seen Nicte's bats. We have not seen Scylla's crows.
Very true. Yeah, it was nice to see them.
The crows are back. It was really nice to see them. And I love that even though so when she finds the crow's body, there's one perched right above that body. And when she picks the body up, it kind of squawks at her, like, what are you doing? And she shushes him and is like, it's going to be all right. So she's talking to her crows. It's adorable.
It's adorable.
I'm like, it's not even Morrigan. Just all the crows know Scylla.
They do. They talk. Crows talk.
So. Crows talk.
Crows talk.
All right, so on to the Talder fanfiction.
Woo! The scene made me happy.
So.
This was a scene.
what's left of our unit and a dill show up at the bar that Tally saw in her vision. So Abigail suggests that Tally look ahead again, and Tally's like, bitch, this is exactly what I saw. Let's just go.
Abigail.
So Abigail, stop. Girl.
Literally, stop.
So they get inside the bar and everybody's mingling and drinking, and they immediately find Kaitlynn at the bar asking for a straw for her drink. Because why not?
So random. Sure.
I want to know what she's drinking.
Me too. I don't think we ever see it.
I think it's club soda.
Probably. Or like a Coke or something. Shirley
Sprite.
Temple.
I don't
What
know.
do kids drink? I don't know.
Gin and Coke.
Coke is Kaitlyn's guess.
What? Why would you put gin and Coke together?
That's
It's not what you
disgusting,
put together.
Gin and
It's
tonic,
not a good
rum and
combo.
Coke. Kaitlynn,
Rum and it's rum and Coke.
rum and Coke or
like-
gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonics are good. I don't know that Kaitlynn would dig it, but maybe a rum
I
and Coke.
myself prefer a vodka with club soda, lime and lemon. But hey, whatever.
It's pretty classic. I
It's
think
very
Kaitlynn
refreshing.
would dig that.
So they are like, what the fuck happened? Except nicer.
Also, like, what the fuck are you doing in
And-
a bar?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
So Kaitlynn doesn't answer. She just looks past them. And who should arrive
Waitress
but Sarah
Alder.
Alder with a serving platter of shots.
What is
Her
this
first
scene?
line and her first scene back. Drink these. It'll make this easier.
What the fuck? Who is fan
Who?
fiction? Take
This
this
is
from.
fan fiction.
This is literally. I swear to God. Okay, so Taylor got in her accident. And then they're like, what the fuck do? We don't have time to rewrite all this shit. So, like, they went through fan fiction and they're like, we're gonna do, there it is. Just, like, piece things together. And so they got to this scene and they're like, I guess Kaitlyn's at a bar drinking. They had to find her there. And then Tally shows up and sees Alder, who's like, take this drink. I swear to God, this is straight up fan fiction.
It sounds like a trick.
It does. I'm like, is she a
It sounds
shapeshifter? Like, what is this? What is this scene?
It sounds like something a really awful dude would say to you before he sexually assaults you.
Yeah, like nothing good happens after the line she just gave. You're like,
Exactly. I'm disturbed.
no, I'm disturbed.
No. Tally's with
I
us
don't
because she kind of look. First of all, she's shocked that Alder's here, and second of all, she's like, "I'm not drinking that."
What did you
No,
just
thank
say?
you.
You're older. What is this my
Yeah.
dream again? Are
Am
we gonna
I
make-
dreaming again?
Yeah.
Do you actually kiss me this time?
Questions that need answers,
So-
Tally. Questions that need answer.
Tally kind of reaches out for Alder. I think she's going to touch her to make sure she's real.
Right, because
That
she
was
thinks it's
my
a
read
dream.
of that.
Me too.
Yeah, and I'm like,
You think she's
"God damn,
dreaming?
Jess, you're adorable." Because it was so cute.
It was.
And so she doesn't actually touch her, though.
'Cause Ellie hates
I had to
us.
note that because it was cute. And Alder is not answering any of their questions
No.
because her mind is on one thing, and it's
This-
nachos.
Listen, this scene of Alder with whiskey and nachos is just everything.
It
It's
is.
so great.
So
Thank
someone
you, Len.
brings in some nachos for Alder.
Like
and
a
she
big
just goes
ass plate.
fucking big plate of nachos.
Something you share. And Alder's like, this is for me.
Don't even think about it.
Don't touch my like if someone like you know how Tally steals food? Like she would have swiped the hand away.
So she's starts to eat the nachos, and as we have been informed before, Alder in her previous manifestation, like actual Alder back in the day, did not eat, could not enjoy food. So now that she's in a new, I don't know what to call it,
form, shall we say?
new form,
bitty
she's been
form.
reborn.
Right, sure.
I guess she's mortal, like more mortal now or whatever.
Right. She can enjoy mortal
She can
things.
enjoy food because she is having like orgasmic reactions to these nachos.
Yes. I mean, they're nachos, but also good for you,
I know.
Alder.
Guess what I ate earlier in anticipation for
Did you have
this
nachos?
episode? I did have nachos.
Fuck
Actually, I
yeah,
had nachos
Bree.
tonight and last night.
Yes.
Because
That's what I like to hear.
After I watched that episode, I had such a strong craving for nachos, I could not kick it.
Yes. Samesies.
So, anyway.
Nachos for Alder, guys.
Nachos for
Lesbian Jesus.
Alder. Yes, please, God. I'm gonna need more hydration. So she's enjoying the nachos and still won't explain anything. But Tally, understandably, is kind of like, "Hi, what the fuck's going on?
What is this?
Listen,
Hey,
right here.
hey,
Focus.
Focus. Put the nachos down." Never thought I'd say that.
I know.
I love it so much.
Alder kind of signals Kaitlynn to take Adil and Abigail away. And then she shushes Tally's questions because guess who's coming on the stage? It's Elayne. This whole scene is so fucking fanfiction bizarre. Elayne is here. And the first thing you notice when Elayne starts singing is that her song contains work because you can kind of hear her voice augmenting. So you figure at that point that Alder isn't here for the nachos really or the whiskey. She's here for Elayne, and those were just bonuses.
Correct.
Tally tries to fight the work in Elaine's song at first because she still wants these answers from Alder, but that lasts all of like 0.5 seconds because after that, Tally's dancing. She's dancing like a fool. Goes out on the floor and joins Adil and Abigail dancing. The only two people who aren't affected by this are Alder and Kaitlynn, who are just standing. Like Kaitlynn leaning up against a post, and Alder sitting there with their nachos, and they're just watching Elayne without being affected by any of this.
Yeah, which is interesting. I like that. But yeah, Tally was feeling it.
She was.
Great. She needed to unwind a bit. Poor Tally.
She did.
Good for you. Good for you, Tally.
I'm
also glad Abigail loosened up for 5 minutes. Jesus fucking
Thank Christ.
I know.
Well, she got her goal. They found Kaitlynn.
Right, yeah. Abigail's mission is accomplished. She got everything she wanted. So I guess hydrate for Lesbian Jesus. For Tally, who deserves some fun.
Tally.
Yeah.
Poor Tally.
Yes. She deserved to have some fun. She's been so stressed this whole time. Yeah.
Yep. I'm blaming herself.
Yeah. All right. So
Kaitlyn's like, Alder can help with that.
Listen, Alder can definitely help with that. If Nicte was there, all I'm saying, Tally would have had someone dancing with her that wasn't Abigail. I'm just saying. And then we would have got jealous stuff. You know what? That's a different fan fiction. We'll just leave that alone. I have a question about this scene. All right. So I guess we kind of figure out, I think in this scene mostly, that Alder is the one that kind of like finds Kaitlynn. And tracked her down. So I'm wondering how she did that. And I'm thinking that it's like the mycelium is who's locating all of these keepers or areas where the song was last or something. And it's like sending Alder wherever she needs to go. So like that's how Alder just like appeared in the woods with Kaitlynn And I was like, oh, hey, I need you. So, because like if you think about it, the mycelium is basically has this underground network of like all those like hyphae that kind of like form this web. So it could realistically send Alder anywhere. So I'm wondering if that's how this is happening.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how it has to
Unless
be going
Alder
down.
can fly. We don't know yet. Could you imagine?
With or without Salva.
It's just we missed it real quick in some of these scenes. Yeah, like Supergirl, she just takes off. That would be so fun.
Wrong network.
Yeah. Wrong Kara, wrong network.
Wrong car, wrong network, wrong place.
Yeah. All right. So, is that the end of that scene? I can't remember.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So while they're all getting their Elayne on in the bar, it's nighttime now.
Oh, Elayne.
Oh, Elayne. It is nighttime in the session. It's nighttime. And we're back with Nicte and Scylla. So when we left them, it was daytime. Now it's suddenly nighttime. Okay. Now Nicte's asleep at this point. How long was Scylla's watch? Nicte's now asleep. It's nighttime. The timing in this episode is really weird. It's for plot reasons. I blame Ellie for all of this. And now it's nighttime. Now Scylla's like, okay, now I'm going to do the death cap scene, the death cap song, which is weird to me that she didn't do it sooner, but whatever. Sure. Like, does she need the moon for this to work? I don't know why she waited so long. I feel like she would have done it sooner to contact
The
Raylla.
last time she did it was at night too, and then the time that we see in the future her doing it was at night, so maybe it does have to be at night.
See, I thought that, but also like Raylla did it during the day the first time she talked to the mycelium, so I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's different when you're using it to try to manifest something rather than
maybe
just using it on the mycelium. I don't know. It's so weird.
It's weird.
So
like,
weird.
I was trying to figure that out. I was like, is it a nighttime thing or is it like she was in the woods with Raylla at night and was like, all right, I don't know. I can't figure it out. It seems weird because just Scylla was so desperate to do it. Seems weird for me to wait. That's all.
Yes.
I feel like this is for plot reasons. I don't think it has, because it's still a big witch energy Ramshorn. She doesn't need the goddamn moon. She can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is set up for plot reasons.
It is, honestly.
So the
Just
point of
face
this, it's just I have accepted that Ellie hates me, so it's fine. It's not fine, but whatever. Anyway, so Scylla's running into a problem this time. So when she's trying to manifest the death cap mushroom, it's taking more than a hot minute for that to happen, like a hot hour kind of thing. And Scylla's like really struggling to like maintain the seed to like get it to work. So it's really indicating that something's wrong with the mycelium because it's taking a lot longer for her to manifest this thing that's connected to the mycelium. So like it's almost showing us that like the mycelium's getting weaker and weaker. And so in order for the mycelium to do things like manifest Sarah Alder and send her all across the world, it has to kind of conserve its resources. So how is Raylla actually doing? I feel like the mycelium at this point is torn between the sending Alder out to go do stuff, which probably takes a ton of energy, and then like keeping Raylla safe because it needs Raylla. So like those are its two main things that it's trying to do simultaneously. And here's Scylla trying to like manifest something else, and the mycelium's like, I don't have that much energy left. Alder's still at the bar. I still have Raylla. And so I think Scylla's kind of slowly putting together stuff about the mycelium's health and like connecting it to Raylla. So she's like freaking out, like starting to freak out here. And so she's understandably getting really frustrated because like she waited all day to do this and it's just not working. It's taking more effort. So she just kind of like doubles down, puts her hands in the dirt, like to, I don't know, connect to it, to get angry. I don't know. And like
to
puts
ground
more
herself.
to ground herself metaphorically.
Oomph.
Yeah, exactly. And she like starts singing like more forcefully and trying to like extend the note. And while that's happening, Nicte wakes up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and as they're like having this, the Marshals come because plot reasons. And they stop what they're doing and go look because they hear the whistling. And lo and behold, the Marshals are coming out dramatically into the field and they can see them doing their whistling. And Nicte and Scylla observe them for a second and put together that they're using the whistling to look and trace magical work. It's probably something similar to the way Tally can see threads of work instead of just being able to see it like Tally does. They probably have to sing this note out and then they can see traces of the work and they follow it. And it's vocal work is the big thing. So they put together really quickly, oh fuck, they're following our voices. So let's stop talking and doing vocal work because that's how they're tracking us. And Scylla, Big Witch Energy Ramshorn, of course, figures out, I have a better idea. Instead of us just shutting up, why don't we redirect them by using my birds to sound like us, and then they'll follow those voices. And so it's like Jabberjays in the Hunger Games, where the birds talk and then people follow them. And that's exactly what she does. She sends her birds out, and then the Marshals hear their voices and follow the birds with their voices. And then it cuts away. So that was that. See, this is the kind of teamwork stuff they would do. Yes. One thing. Only one?
It is.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what do you want me to say? Scylla being sexy about being big brain at this moment, the time she gets to be big brain in this episode. That was nice. But my note is that the bird that you see at the very end that's leading the Marshals away, the last bird that you see fly off is actually Morgan.
Yeah.
Did you see the white collar on its neck?
The white collared crow.
So it's actually Morgan. Morgan is back. The others were not Morgan.
Morgan the bird is here.
Just saying.
So he can track Scylla. The actual Morgan. The Morgan. Yes. Morgan the bird.
The Morgan, not the imitations.
No.
Because there's only one. So yay for them being smart for 3.5 seconds.
Because that's how a team up between them should go. I know. Literally,
yes.
It's insane to me, all of it that happens after this, because the two of them actually are really fucking smart and could have pulled this off. That's what's very frustrating. They figured that out in 3 seconds.
It's
between the two of them.
It's all in plot. It's plot service. This whole episode feels like plot service.
It feels like a setup episode. And it's don't think too much about it. We just have to get here, And it's just it's frustrating because I wanted to see them work together and kick ass because they can. And it's just frustrating. It's no, but we have to make the women fight with each other. And it's why? Whatever. It just makes me upset because
I get that we need to get to a certain place in the plot. It just hurts that we have to do it this way, or that we don't have to. It hurts that they did it this way.
Yeah, agreed. It just
It hurts these characters wouldn't do this brain.
Yeah, totally. Or I could see them sending the Marshals away. Then after the other ones get captured, they try to rescue them and then get captured in that skirmish. Why did they have to fight each other? That's how it should have gone down. That's what I mean. I'm just going to talk about it now because listen, when we get to the scene later, okay, because if Nicte was really an asshole, she could have just left everybody and been fuck this, bye. But she doesn't. So she's with them, even though her and Scylla are not on the same page. So it's totally plausible for the two of them to try to rescue the other ones and then just get outnumbered. Because they were a team, even though they were bickering, they were still a team. It's very frustrating. I would have loved that, but here we are.
Here we are, and back to more Talder fanfiction.
I know. We gotta break this up with the fanfiction.
Back to the bar, people are stuffing money in tip jars, and Tally's dancing all pretty and just having the time of her life.
She sure is.
So, of course, Abigail goes straight to, hey, when's the last time you had sex, Tally. Why don't you go find somebody to have sex with? Okay, sure.
Why is Abigail like
use
this?
Your sight to find a worthy specimen. It's like, is this this is you looking out for Tally? Go use your sight that's like dangerous to find somebody to have sex with.
I know. I can't with Abigail. I swear to God.
First of all, that makes no goddamn sense.
It makes no goddamn sense. Like, what? Look into the future? Like, it makes no goddamn sense. It really
I know
doesn't.
it's not going to make sense because Abigail's drunk at this point and high on whatever work Elayne is throwing out there.
Literally, yeah.
But so Kalita comes over and says that Abigail may want to slow down. And a lot of people are reading that as Abigail being pregnant, but that's not what I get from it, because it just sounds like Kalita's like, hey, you guys should probably not drink so much right now. And wouldn't she have just told her not to drink at all?
Thank you. If that's what was happening, and like Kalita, the keeper of knowledge, the knower of these prophecies, if the Earth and Sky shit is really about their child, she'd be swiping whiskey out of Abigail's hand so she can't drink. There's no way in hell Kalita's like, no, you can have 2, but there's no way in hell. Like, never. That would never happen. That is not what's happening here. No. I think Kalita's like, you need to slow your roll, Abigail. You're high right now. That's how I read that. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, leave Tally alone. Because I've been reading what's going on with Nicte, so just like chill. She'll get there. But yeah, there's no way in hell no. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. No offense. But like,
well,
no
offense. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
So they sober up real fast because Elayne's work wears off when she leaves. And then really Tally immediately goes to find Alder and is like, what is going on? And Alder's like, okay, fine. Let's go talk to Elayne. She's like, after you. She's like exasperated at this point that Tally just keeps asking her questions. And I'm like, Alder, what do you freaking expect? It's Tally Craven, number 1. Number 2, your whole existence here is very sus.
Yeah, remember those glowing eyes when we came in? There's no explanation for that either. You're just like, nachos. And it's like, what? Nachos?
Whiskey, nachos. What is going on? It's understandable that Tally wants to know what this hall is all about. Like, what
this is all weird.
So,
yeah, totally.
So weird. When Alder's like, after you, Tally's like, oh, thanks. It's like, so Tally.
Poor Tally.
And
she's like,
that's
I guess.
where it ends.
Yeah. I think my only note was this was more fan fiction. Because, like, Abigail has the line, like, I'll use your sight to find someone, and then eventually her eyes gravitate to Alder, so it's like, okay, well, and that's who she goes to after the thing wears off. So, here we are. I hope you get your answers, Tally. Girl needs to figure out her sexuality, is all I'm saying. So,
thank you.
Soak up the cuteness, because we're going back to a creepy scene. With Albie.
Extra creepy, with extra creep on the side. If this was nachos, these would be the most black nachos, nasty ass worms and maggot nachos ever.
No, when we talked about the season 2 finale, the zombie nachos, they're back.
The zombie nachos are back.
So that's what we're
Taco Bell.
From Taco Bell, yeah, brought to you by Taco Bell. So that's where we're at. We're at the scene equivalent
it's not
of
called
zombie
bread
nachos
anymore. It's called Black Mountain Dew.
God, no. Only at Taco Bell.
I'm sorry. No,
don't be sorry. Just adds to this menu we're creating of horror. We're not sponsored by Taco Bell, by the way.
Kaitlyn's horrified.
She is. Anyway, Back to Albie. So Albie's lost his mind and is ready for this big surgery thing to happen, where he is one of the specimens with his specimen. So basically, it's Albin, and they're in an operating room, and all the Camarilla goons are back in those ceremonial red scrubs that they wore when they were torturing Raylla in season 2. So we're back in that. So this is some kind of Camarilla specific operation that's about to happen, and there's two like tables or gurney things. I don't know. Albin's on one of them, and then there's a witch on the other one who's like got a collar on her arm. She's like cuffed to the table. There's like bruising, so she's been there a hot minute, and she's like freaking the fuck out, and she's gagged. So this isn't good. And Albin, while she's freaking out and trying to escape, Albin does his super creepy, like, shh, and like petting her hair like he did with Raylla. Apparently, this means this is him being affectionate, according to Bob. It just comes off as super creepy. But sure, we love you, Bob, but it's creepy. And then he uses his words to try and comfort her, and he tells her, like, hey, like, listen, your toad's gonna die. But, like, look on the bright side. You're making a contribution to the cause, which is genocide, but whatever. Like, you know, it's for the greater good for us. And while he's doing this weird pep talk to this woman who's about to die, one of the Camarilla, like, operating minions is like, hey, Dr. Albie, are you sure you really want to be going through with this? And, like, we can do other stuff that's not so, like, permanent. So whatever the operation is, it's, like, irreversible, basically. And Albin looks super offended by this. Because, like, here's an underling questioning him after he basically just got chewed out by his boss, quote unquote, Kara. And he's like, whoa, you think I'm afraid? Because he has like hurt feels for like looking weak, basically. So this is like white male fragility overcompensating by doing this extreme experiment is what this whole scene is. And he like basically freaks out here, and he's like, I'm not afraid to like make a sacrifice. And he gives this, like, dramatic as fuck monologue about how, like, I was sent in the midst of wolves, and, like, now I'm the lion. I learned the way of the beast. So, like, using these weird metaphors to basically say, I'm going to sacrifice my humanity because I'm a big boy. And instead of being this weakling or just, like, a normal human, I'm going to become the beast, the thing we're trying to kill, to help us. Like, so he's, like, trying to justify becoming a witch is basically what he's doing, and saying, no, I'm doing it for the cause. Whatever. I think he has a witch fetish, but here we are. And he's so like eager to prove himself that he like takes the scalpel himself. This is insane. And starts like incising his own vocal cord area. So like they're preparing for like a vocal cord transplant is what this is. They're going to take the witch vocal cords, put them into Albin. And he does this without any anesthesia, nothing, just blind. He's just like, let's get going. I'm serious. Thoughts about that, Bree, as a surgery tech?
A lot. First of all, they did a pretty good job of the table does look like an OR table that's put in a slightly weird position for what they're doing.
Yes.
But hey, whatever.
Sure.
It does resemble OR table, so I'll give them that. However, the blade on his knife handle is way too big for what he's doing. That looked like a 20 blade. We use a 15 for stuff like that, sir.
I know. Was he gonna cut?
That's too big.
An artery?
It's too big. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, because you're gonna freaking bleed out in 3 minutes if you're in the wrong place there.
That's
not only that, there's like way more than they're so vascular, and there's like, good lord, there's too many things that you can just mess up in that area. Oh my gosh. Nerves, everything. So the whole thing was dumb as hell, and they're not even using the right equipment. So
no.
If you're like, if he's definitely not a surgeon.
No.
I'll tell you that much right now.
So we've ruled that out from what was on the medical wall.
He must, unless he's like, I don't know. Because the blade that he used is stuff you use in orthopedic surgery. Like,
That was
whatever.
wild.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It was wild. Yeah. I've never
Mhm.
used a 20 blade in my 10 years of working in surgery. Never used that blade. The biggest we've ever used is like a 10, which is between the two. So,
Right.
well,
Drama. Albin loves his drama. He
drama.
knew
It
that
has
was
to
the
be
wrong
big
one.
knife.
Yeah. Big eye.
Yeah, he did.
Male fragility. There you go.
It's for the television. You have to have the big knife.
It is. He's a big boy. He has a big knife.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least I got the knife handle right for that blade.
True. Yeah,
So
I
I'll
mean,
give him that.
most of the stuff in there, good job on props department. It looked pretty convincing, the stuff they had. That was their legit operating room, allegedly.
Yeah.
So
it was all just for the show. So
the drama.
No one's gonna know the difference except for somebody. So
just Bree.
just me and whoever else. Whoever else has ever worked in surgery. Well, I won't say that because the circulating nurses don't know.
Yeah.
But I digress. Let's go back to Alder and the confusing. Okay, listen. This just occurred to me. Every Alder scene feels like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, it
because
does.
You've got the drink me type thing. You've got this weird situation going on. I feel like the Mad Hatter's in control here. I don't freaking know what's going on.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, it's so true. And like the way it's like dark and it's like weird neon lights. It's like trippy, you know?
It's very trippy. It's giving me Alice in Wonderland vibes. So
it's Tally in Wonderland because she's like, what the fuck is
Tally in
going on?
Wonderland.
Tally in Wonderland.
Of course, Alder's in her Wonderland.
It's Tally's fanfiction. Of course it is. That's why she's like, is this a dream? Because I've had something similar like that. Are you real? I need to. Okay.
It's too bad Nicte had to be plot device out of this.
I know. I would have died if Nicte was here. It would have been so fucking funny. Why can't you give us that? We can't have Raylla right now. Put Nicte in this situation. It would have been hysterical. Nicte at a bar, like, she doesn't know what to do. Like, it would have been funny for so many reasons. God.
It would have.
Anyway.
So Alder catches up to Elayne, who's just super happy because she's cleaned up. She's got her tip jar. It's full. And Alder says, what beautiful songs you have. And now I'm in Red Riding Hood. So
it's very weird, like fable-y language they keep using. Like,
it is.
Are you okay, Alder?
We're in a children's book, but one on whiskey.
With whiskey.
Like the Winona Earp whiskey and nachos version of a children's book.
Oh, yes. Yes. I would love that. Yes. Yes to all of that.
Oh, man.
Yes.
So Elayne is like, thank you. And then Alder continues to ask her really probing questions. So what has your mother told you of your lineage? Like, I'm sorry, but if a woman approached me when I was going to my trailer and asked me that, I too would be a little weirded out.
She doesn't introduce herself. She's just like, what beautiful songs you have. What did your mother tell you? It's like, who the fuck are you? Who are you?
So give me your family tree. What'd your mom say about it?
Yeah. Tell me everything about your family and your dark secrets. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So she's like, your lineage and the vow to protect your peace to the first song. So I guess she's trying to call Elayne out by being like, well, you're a keeper of the first song. I know you are. We're both witches. It's cool. Let's just give it up. But Elayne's like, I want you to leave now. GTFO,
forever.
please.
Yeah, forever.
And I'm with Elayne here. Yes, I would have felt the same way. But Alder does some crazy ass purple eye mycelium shit, like purple around her eyes. I'm like, what show are we on? This is like some once upon a time shit. We're back to fables. But Elayne is like scared and she's like, you can have it! And runs away.
That was creepy as fuck.
It was creepy as fuck.
Bye. I'm a con woman.
So Alder looks super surprised that she was so scared. And then, like, pretty much just, like, rolls her eyes and is like, whatever. And so they go into the trailer. She tells Tally, we needn't concern ourselves with the thief, only the song she stole. So we went from, hey, you're a keeper of the song, like, give it up, to, oh, she stole it. And I guess Alder got to that conclusion without telling us.
I think the leap was, okay, if you were really the steward like I am, you'd like defend it with your life, and this bitch was just like, bye, because like she had the money.
Bitch.
She's a con artist, like she was using it to get money.
Obvi.
So she's like, okay, you're not the real keeper.
It wasn't explained in any way, shape, or form, so
it wasn't.
It's just, I mean, that was my conclusion as well, but it's just like, okay, sure.
Right.
There's some people that probably wouldn't get to that conclusion.
Yeah, it's really fast. It's just like, wow, Alder put
really
that together in 3 seconds. Cool. And doesn't tell Tally. Tally's like, I still don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. Tally's like, I still don't know why you're here.
Right. You answered any of my questions. Who the fuck was Elayne? What is this? Yeah, exactly.
So they go inside the trailer and Tally sees all kinds of work in the air, and all these seeds are contained in these vessels, and it's just super overwhelming. This is also a scene that we got in the trailer where we were like, what's going on here? Was she like seeing this in a vision? No, this was literally physically, she's in a trailer with a lot of work contained in all of these vessels. So she almost drops one, but Alder catches it because she has super duper crazy matrix reflexes. And Tally says they all contain seeds, and Alder's like, some of them are more dangerous than others. So you get the idea that something really bad would have happened if that seed might have cracked, or that vessel might have cracked and the seed got out.
Yeah.
There's only one seed they're looking for, and Tally won't find it until Alder answers her questions. Finally, she has some leverage.
Right. Good on you, Tally.
She finally has something where she can be like, but basically, Alder's there because the mother brought her back. So she even corrects Tally when Tally says the mycelium, and is like, the mother. So there's like a super duper big distinction, like we heard Albin make in an earlier episode about them calling it the mother. So that's something to keep in your brain. Tally tells Alder that the mother took Raylla, and Alder didn't know this, so the mycelium isn't telling her everything. And that means that things are a lot worse than she knew, and they don't have a lot of time to find all the pieces of the first song, whose music will heal the world and end the war. Sounds fake. It's the heal the world part that doesn't sound, quite right to me. Tally's first question is, okay, and Raylla will be okay? And Alder's answer is not very comforting because she says, if the mother wills it.
Right.
She doesn't tell me everything.
Right. She just said, she's like, bitch, I didn't know about this. How would I know?
Like,
it's up to the mycelium. I don't fucking know.
Obviously, I'm a lackey, so.
I'm not in charge. For once.
Oh, we've got a couple of times in this sequence where there's a couple of times in this sequence with them in the trailer, like now and later, where Alder's getting pain. Like you can see her in pain, and it seems like the mycelium is getting weak, and she's gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
But Tally does find we just have more evidence of her being like super duper powerful, being able to pick the seed that they're looking for out of all of this information that's being thrown at her.
I think she gets there later, but yeah, she does. I mean, it's Tally.
She does get there later.
It's Tally. And then to piggyback off of the mycelium is what's manifesting Alder, like you said. I think that's absolutely what's happening, and what we're seeing with Alder when Alder starts. I can't remember if it's in this. I think maybe in the scene, definitely later, the next scene with them later. You start to see like Alder's definitely like in more pain, and again, just like with Scylla struggling with the death cap seed, like the mycelium is exhausting itself because again, its main missions are Alder getting the song, and then so it has to manifest Alder and then keeping Raylla protected. So it's and it's being killed by fungicide. So it's like it's getting less and less powerful each day is kind of what that's showing. And I think I was trying to wonder like what is the glowing eye thing all about? Because it happens sometimes with Alder. It's not all the time. Yes, Lynn is not human and her eyes are incredible when you shine light at them, but I think it's trying to signify like maybe when the mycelium power is maximized with Alder, or like when the mycelium is like can see what Alder sees, perhaps like because like it's not telling everybody anything. So it's also using Alder not just to get the songs, but maybe to like see what the state of the world is, because it can't send its little mushrooms out anymore. So like maybe it's when they're more connected, or like when she has more mycelial power, perhaps.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe. Cool. But yeah, Tally's badass. And honestly, if I had to see the world the way Tally saw it, like in that van, I'd get vertigo and like nauseous. There's so much going on with what Tally has to see when she's like using her knower powers. Like that was a lot. It's a lot of sensory stuff.
Visual input, and
yeah.
Makes me sick just looking through her eyes.
Yeah. No wonder she's like falling into stuff. It's a lot for Tally. So like good on Tally always, but damn. Alrighty. So after that happens and Elayne fucks off and they're in the RV or whatever, we then cut inside the roadhouse, and it's now just Adil, Abigail, and Kaitlynn at a booth. And Kaitlynn is explaining to the two of them how she got here, basically. And she's like, well, I was at the camp, like I was supposed to be guarding where Raylla sunk into the mycelium. And Alder just like showed up out of nowhere. And she took me here, which is why the Marshals didn't find me. And the reason I went with her is because Alder told me she's seeking out the 6 pieces of the first song, basically. She told me that she is a steward of one of the pieces. I'm a steward of one of the pieces, so that's confirmed. And Alder even sung Kaitlynn her own piece. And she's like, that's how I knew she wasn't lying, because I know what my sound sounds like and feels like. And then I heard hers and I was like, yep, okay, you're for real. So I was like, I'll go anywhere with you. You are just like me. And I wonder, when this all happened, was the reaction to the song similar to Alder's reaction to Boris's Egg Song of Destiny? Was that kind of song where she's like, I feel it in my blood? Remember that from season 1?
I do. It was somewhat I was like, it was the pre-Alice in Wonderland Alder reaction to nachos.
Yeah, totally. I love it.
Yep.
So
I wonder if it was too.
It's Alder's Egg Song of Destiny. She sang it to Kaitlynn. Kaitlynn has her own Egg Song of Destiny. And that was it. Kaitlyn's like, you're legit. We're on the same side now. And Abigail and Adil are like, okay, but there's still a concern that like, okay, but this is super fucking dangerous. Now suddenly Abigail's concerned about danger for some reason. Not when Tally's like, hey, this is dangerous. And Abigail's like, fuck you, whatever. But Kaitlynn, she's like, hey, maybe this is dangerous for you. And Kaitlyn's like, listen, obviously it's dangerous. The world's on fire. But like, I have you guys. Like, it used to be just me and Adil against the world. Now it's me, Adil, and you. I guess.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
And that's the other reason people are thinking that Abigail's pregnant, because she's calling her sister like that. And I'm like, no.
Okay. This is a world that's built on matriarchies. And so calling someone your sister is in our world, where we live in a patriarchy, equivalent of calling someone your brother. It's like, we're not related, but like we might as well be because of our circumstances. It's what army guys do. It's what they do in the witch army, where they're like, you're my sister. Like Abigail and Tally and Raylla call each other sisters. It's like we're a found family, a forged family through our common purpose thing. Because it's a matriarchy. So like the equivalent in that language is calling you sister.
Thank you. Let's go back to the barn. If we have to.
I know. Okay. We're back. Whatever. Let's get through this.
So after the Marshals go off in search of the Morrigan, Scylla goes right back to trying to contact Raylla, even though the crows aren't going to keep the Marshals busy for long. And Nicte tries to talk sense into her. It's like, it's sweet how much you love her so much, but it has made you weak. Please don't say that. Stop saying that. I just want to like get in Nicte's face and say, stop saying that. That is a trigger for Scylla. Oh, I know where it's coming from, but it's a trigger for Scylla. Because if you recall, when Jonas was leaving to go be his big martyr dumbass move, he told her that she used to be a wild animal and that she was getting weak, that now she's weak. Like,
yeah, like, thank you for bringing that up. All of that. No shade to Nicte, but like, people in general, I guess some shade to Nicte kind of, but like, people in general need to stop saying that to Scylla, because like, she's not weak. She's like the strongest character on this fucking show. And, like, again, this is just, again, people disrespecting Scylla personally. And it's really annoying because it's coming from like everybody. And it's like, it's so fucking annoying. I understand what Nicte's trying to say, but like, yeah, those are not the right words. And like, why must we keep disrespecting like Scylla? Everyone's doing it. It's so annoying. And she doesn't deserve it. It's very frustrating.
It's like Nicte is saying everything that she possibly can to make Scylla not listen to her.
I know. I know.
Proceed further into her spiral of insanity, because that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Her retort to that is, Raylla is what kept me alive, which is true. I mean, like, I really don't know if Scylla would be alive if she hadn't fallen in love with Raylla, et cetera, go on and on. And then that's when Nicte says the only line that, like, freaking could maybe have gotten through to her, and she wouldn't want you throwing your life away. That made more sense, but at that point, Scylla's not listening to Nicte because of everything that's happened before.
She's triggered now. Exactly. They're not talking to each other in a productive way. Yes. It's so frustrating. Right.
Nicte's been by herself for 30 years, basically, only interacting with people where it furthers the mission of the spree.
Correct.
And not on any kind of emotional level. So she is not, I'm sorry, but she is less emotionally mature than Scylla.
Correct.
Just say it. So she's obviously not going to be in a position to actually talk sense. However, girl, don't project. Stop projecting.
I know.
Stop projecting.
She is projecting. But like, I get where she's coming from and what she's trying to do. The execution is bad.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, girl. You could. At this point, it would have been more helpful if she had knocked Scylla out and dragged her away.
And just dragged her away. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Because, like, at this point, like, Scylla's past her breaking point.
And,
like, it's not because of Nicte. Like, Scylla's been, like, building up to this, but, like, Nicte pushes her over the edge. And then it's, like, too late for any kind of, like, logic at all. And then Nicte gets mad. And it's like, they set them up to just fight each other. And it was like, we didn't need to do this. It's very annoying.
Didn't need to. It just devolves into stupidity.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree. And like the situation is dumb too, because like if you think about it, like because I think Scylla's past reason. She's just worried and devolving into madness, like you said, and just can't with logic. And so her doing the death cap now is like the equivalent of her like burning her face when the cops are still in the room. Because like that's why Nick is like, they're right there. Like we have to leave.
Exactly.
Because Scylla's not cooperating and listening, and they haven't been the whole time. Like her words are just poorly choiced, and it just doesn't work. It's so
just
annoying.
Scylla's not even listening to her.
No, she's past it. She's past it. Yeah, it's right. It's very frustrating.
So Scylla tells her, if you want to go, then go. So she gives Nicte the like, if you like, F off, like you can go, like I'm not like holding you here, you're not responsible for me, leave. But unfortunately she pushes Nicte. Which is the thing that triggers Nicte.
Right, they trigger each other. Exactly. That's exactly. I'm like, Scylla, baby girl, because like, okay, normally regular Nicte, the shoving aside, telling her, hey, you could just fucking leave, like you don't have to wait for me. Nicte would have left and been like, okay, bye, because I'm in this for me. She was telling Tally the last episode, I don't do drama and relationship squabbling and all this weird stuff. She would have just fucked off and left. But now we have a triggered Nicte and a triggered Scylla, and they're similar, so what the fuck happens? Petty bullshit.
It results in a fist fight. So
I'm so mad we were wrong about this prediction when we did the trailer, and we're like, they're not fighting each other because that would be stupid. And it is. I hate it.
So basically, it's a big ol' two women who have a lot of trauma in their past have triggered each other to the point where they have no sense.
Right. No one has a brain cell.
I'm so close, and runs back to do the death cap seed, but Nicte like vaporizes her crow body.
Yeah,
and that's
like,
when
we're
Scylla,
done with words.
Exactly, and that's when Scylla's double and triple triggered.
Seriously,
like
I should have just knocked her out then, and just take it
when she was like
and leave.
About to like bend over this thing and start doing this thing. Just knock her out, Nicte.
Just knock her out. Then there's no talking anymore. The problem is you're both still fucking talking.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So Scylla loses her shit.
Yep.
And rounds on Nicte.
Ding, ding, ding.
Who says, I'm trying to help you. Also the wrong thing to say.
Because it's like, she is, but she isn't. They're both wrong in this whole scene. And it's just like, guys,
everyone's wrong and everyone's right. And nothing is good.
No, exactly. Exactly.
And my next note, I was like, so Willa? Where's that? Because Scylla Willa.
She's like, I can kind of see what's going on, Raylla. Fucking shut up. Keep sleeping. You don't need to say this.
Willa's watching this, like, what the fuck?
The fuck? I trained you better than that, Scylla. Oh my god, that'd be so
I've got to switch. I've got to switch headsets.
Oh, go for it. Go for
One
it.
second.
Excuse me. Thanks, Kaitlynn.
It won't let me click on it.
Click on what? To change the headphones?
No, it just automatically went back to it.
Oh.
But you sound weird. Well, no, you don't. It's because of how I have my headset set up. It's on surround sound. Okay, so we're good. You can hear me. I can hear you.
I can hear you. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
So spying on them.
Spying on them from the mycelium and just like, no, go back to sleep, Raylla. You don't need to see this.
I don't need to see this. There's no winners
Actually,
here.
I think Raylla would want to see it, but and
The
then like just the
Scylla and Willa wouldn't let her.
yeah, exactly. So Scylla one strikes Nicte, and who gets up and says, "You sure you want to do this?" And Scylla's like, "Bring it." I'm like, joy.
Because they're so stupid.
My next note sums this entire scene up.
Thank you.
A sexy but dumb fight ensues.
Yes. That is what happens. That is exactly what happens. Shout out to all the stunt people involved with this. You guys did great.
Yes.
It was awesome. This was dumb as fuck.
It was.
But also hot. So,
yes.
Here we are.
Hot but dumb.
Hot but dumb.
In the middle of the fight, Scylla yells, "I could have reached her." Somebody needs to just cry. Somebody needs to cry. And her name is Scylla.
Yes. That's denial speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have this little fight. It's super hot. I'm counting the blows that are landed. And I want to point out that Scylla landed more blows than Nicte did. Just saying. Before they can actually figure out who's going to win this thing, the Marshal shows up and captures them.
Because plot reasons.
And what he says to them is, "I enjoy that last bit. It's been decades since anyone's pulled one over on me."
So who outsmarts the Marshals? Who did it?
Scylla. Yeah, Scylla's like, "Hey, let's use the crows." But you have left.
Right? Like, the first person to fool them in, like, a long period of time was these two.
Scylla,
which is
Big Witch Energy
Ransar. Which is why it's so dumb they got captured. Because they could have
it is. Off.
Whatever.
He also says, "Did I interrupt something?" And it's like,
bitch, yes.
Bitch, yes.
What was yelling into my mycelium? Like, get out!
I also need to know who would win the fight. So I need you to leave, Marshal guy.
Right.
I love that Nicte says, "Yeah, you kind of did."
Yeah. She's all of us. She's like, "Yeah, bitch, like, we were fighting. Let us fight.
Get out.
Get out."
If there has to be a dumb fight, finish it so we know who wins.
Thank you. If we're going to do this, let's commit and do this. Who won the fight? No one. We all lost. The Marshals won. So thanks, Ellie.
Everybody loses.
Everybody lost. It's bullshit.
I demand a recount.
Yeah, redo.
Fucking hanging Chad in this bitch.
Maybe the next episode, the Marshals are fucking with them, and they're like, "Let's go back to that fight." Like, play that out.
Like you.
Here's
your chance to finish it.
Yeah, finish it.
Push him in the middle of the circle.
And then Nicte would try to attack them, and then they'd arrest her. It would not work out. This was the time, and we missed our opportunity.
Yes, we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. Sadness. And now, basically, those two have been captured by the Marshals. So who's left? We'll find out in the next scene. So we pick back up at the creepy van. Or the RV. Whatever that is. Mobile home, trailer. I don't know what it was. Tally and Alder.
I think.
It was a camper? Okay. I couldn't remember what it looked like. But it was something where there's a room and it was probably mobile.
Silver camper is what I have in my head.
Okay, good. We'll go with that. So, back at the creepy camper. Tally and Alder are still looking for the first song, because there's, like, a fuckload of work. So, they're just wading through all of it, trying to figure out what the fuck's happening. And while this is happening, Tally drops that, the Camry are also looking for this first song, by the way. And Alder just like, well, fuck. So, we're more fucked than I thought, and we better figure this all out, like, yesterday, because we're fucked. And at that moment of just, like, we have no time, Tally, of course, finds the first song. And it's, like, in this tube of hand sanitizer. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? It's like a tube. I couldn't figure it out.
I couldn't figure it out either.
Yeah, I don't know. If somebody else has a better shot of it, correct us. But, like, whatever it was some kind of inconspicuous modern item, like a tube of like some kind of product, like hand sanitizer or something for your hair. I don't know. So something small that can fit in your pocket, and it just looks like an everyday item is basically what it is. And this is the vessel for like this like coveted song from the beginning of language. Cool. So while Tally is like, ooh, I found it, Alder's like collapsing against the wall because like the mycelium's getting really fucking tired because it was spying on Nicte and Scylla, and now it's like, God damn it. I can't keep Alder alive. You gotta come back, girl. And of course, Tally notices that like her ex is dying. So she's like, are you okay? And then there's a moment of gay staring, go back and watch, and Alder doesn't answer. She's just like, thank you, because you found the first song, basically. And before Tally can figure this out, she hears Abigail screaming her name from outside of the trailer. And so she runs outside to figure out what the fuck's happening, and leaves Alder back in the van. Or the RV. Whatever it was. Camper van. And outside, the rest of the fugitives, Adil, Khalida, and Abigail, are being arrested by the Marshals. So now, like, everybody but Tally has been captured. So Tally sees this, panics, not in a gay way, just normally panics, and, like, goes back in the van to ask Alder what the fuck she should do, because, like, she's like, you're the adult, tell me. But Alder's gone, because the mycelium was tired, and is like, you need to come back right now. I can't keep you out here. But Tally doesn't know that, and is just like, fuck, I'm on my own. So this is a big moment for Tally, because Tally has kind of been struggling with, like, what do I do when I'm in these situations? Like, and normally, like, a big situation. And normally she, like, asks somebody, and they tell her what to do, like her unit, or Alder, or Anacostia. But now she has no one, and has to decide in, like, 3 seconds what to do. So she kind of, like, is like, okay, I guess I'm the keeper of whatever this song is. The Camarilla wants it. Alder wanted it. It must be important. I have to be the steward. And so she basically takes the tube of whatever that has the song, puts it in her pocket, and very calmly just goes out there, puts her hands up, and is like, okay, I'm not going to fight you. Just arrest me. You don't know what I have. I'm not going to fight you. And so now at this point, every single fugitive except Raylla, because she's in the mycelium, has officially been captured by the Marshals for plot reasons.
I feel like we should, like, trumpet a song or something at this point. Like,
or whistle, because that's what the Marshals would do.
Yeah, you've done it now.
You've done it now.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so tired now.
I know.
This episode makes me tired.
It's a lot of running and fighting and getting captured and dumb shit and stuff where you're like, what is happening? And then
Alice in Wonderland, that takes it out of you.
The only stuff that's, like, pretty cohesive and not weird is, like, the stuff with President Wade. It's pretty straightforward. And you're like,
it
okay.
Is.
Everything else is just like, what?
Alder in Wonderland.
Right.
Or
especially that stuff.
Speaking of Wade.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the White House, where Wade is practicing her speech. And we see Sterling come through and tell one of his Secret Service guys at the door that no one should enter that room but him. Then they walk through the Nada Oval Office to the other sliding door, and Sterling posts him outside of that one. They close it. And, you know, they have their little talk. You know, like, it's only a short amount of time before the Camarilla are going to make their move. So Sterling leaves M there, goes downstairs to where Anacostia is in this room that has, like, all these security monitors that look like they're from the 90s, because, of course, this is Motherland.
That tracks.
It tracks. It's also a weird-looking place to have a security, so I guess they just commandeered this area to use for this. Yeah, is what it seems like.
Yeah.
So Anacostia is nervous. Like, you can see her nervous, and that makes me nervous because it's Anacostia. So she's like, I never liked this part, waiting for the enemy to go first. And I'm like, me too, girl, because that's anxiety.
Yes.
And she makes sure to tell Sterling to stay close. So she's gotta make sure her man is good, which is cute. And then he replies with, "I always am, boss." They're a good couple. I like it.
They are.
I ship
They have a
it.
good dynamic. Yeah.
They do. I like it. So he leaves the room for I guess to go check on all the security stuffs, and she turns away. And then we leave this scene and go to the bartender from the Wonderland bar.
Yeah. Elayne's buddy, grifter buddy.
Elayne's grifter buddy comes out to her trailer to see where the fuck she is because she was due on stage. And he finds that her camper trailer has been ransacked and she's been murdered. Her vocal cords have been taken. The Camaria's been here, ladies and gentlemen.
They sure have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't know that. He's just like...
No, he just freaks the fuck out as a normal person would.
Yeah, he has a normal reaction to this.
Yep. He's Audi 5000.
He's out of there.
I don't blame you.
No. That's horrible. So yeah, Camarillo was super close to the fugitives, guys. That's disturbing.
Very.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you glad the Marshals
got them.
They
were hanging out with that bar for way too long, so yeah.
They were.
They were. In the open. Yeah. They're not smart. In their faces. So, good on you, Marshals. You probably just saved their lives by using justice against them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good point. My only note for this whole exchange, mostly about the White House scene, is the MILFs are hot. So, including MILFs. So good for you guys.
MILFs. The MILFs are hot.
MILFs. Yes, they're all hot. Including you, Wade. Mm-hmm. You get thrown in that bucket. I love her blue suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wade. Alrighty. So, after the murder of Elayne, we go back to the fugitives and catch up with them now that they've all been captured.
That should have been the title of the episode. Except it would have given it away.
I know. So it's okay. We're in the woods. It's very blue scene, so it's something big's gonna happen with Scylla real soon. And head marshal is leading Scylla and Nicte, who's tied up, to the big creepy mansion we saw in the trailer. And this is where they're going to be held captive, so we were kind of right about this. And as they're walking, Nicte is being Nicte and sassing off to the marshal, which is fun. And she's like, "I'd love to learn your whistling one day." She's an asshole, and I love her. And Scylla, the whole time, as Nicte's being Nicte, is just, like, completely out of it. Because, like, at this point, she's, like, one word away from having her meltdown that she's needed to have for, like, over a day. But, like, she's, like, there. Like, a breeze would push her over at this point. So she's just out of it. And the marshal just starts bantering with Nicte and calls her out for, like, being a terrible leader and compares her to his dog who knows how to whistle, which is rude. And I hate it here. Yeah. And I miss Arlen. Ellie, why did you do this to me? But sure. That
I was like, damn.
Yeah,
that's
it was
just
like
mean.
Aggressive. Yeah, it was super mean. So after yeah, go.
Just gonna say, and it's just like, it just takes me back to, it triggers me about every time someone, like, don't compare a woman to an animal like that.
Mm-hmm. I hate it.
I know that's not where he was coming from with that, but it still feels misogyny-laden bullshit. Yep.
It's triggering from our lives, not necessarily what he is saying to her.
Exactly.
Yes. I'm with you on that. Also, like, can his dog do work was also where my brain went. I'm like, can the dog do the work? That's also impressive. Not a bird, a dog. Just questions for session people, if anyone knows. So, anyway, they all go in the house, and now all the fugitives minus Raylla are reunited. And they try to, like, explain, like, hey, we weren't doing this on purpose. Please hear us out. And he's like, listen, I don't want to hear your bullshit because you did bring trouble to the session. That's why I was sent after you. And like, good luck. You're trapped here now. The session leaders will figure out what to do with you. Bye. And he like fucks off and leaves. Because like his job is just to capture them. He captured them. They're in this house that's properly warded so they can't leave. And he's like, have fun now. I'm done. Thanks for the trick. See you later.
Mic drops is what he does.
He session witch mic drops on the fuck out of there. Like he does. And it's like, bye. And swaggers away, which is pretty fun. Nicte doesn't think it's fun. Nicte is beyond triggered at this point. Is like, fuck this. I'm not staying here. I'm gonna break the fuck out of here. And like tries to storm away. And everyone else is like, Nicte, you can't leave. Like it's warded. The Tarim people tried. They can't even blast holes in the earth. Like we're fucked. We're just trapped here. Accept it. So Nicte gets mad and starts like expressing her feelings to Scylla and like essentially just like blaming her and saying like, we could have gotten away. You fucked it up. Now we've gotten captured. And like, this is when Scylla starts like actually losing, because this is the breeze that pushes her. I don't think she's listening to Nicte. I think she's like yelling's happening and like she starts teetering into breakdown mode. And finally, they all stop moving. So I think she's in her head and is like, wow, I failed. And so it's more like she's catching up with her thoughts and Nick just like yelling and it's like making it worse. And Tally, of course, notices because it's Tally and someone's about to start bawling and Tally notices and is like, are you okay? What's happening? And that's when like the dam breaks for Scylla and she basically says more to herself probably than anybody else that I couldn't reach Raylla. Like I failed. Because I think that's part of what was really driving her is that she's like, I'll just check in, and she couldn't. Like it was a big struggle to even like start the death cap seed. So I think she's been telling herself over and over again, like the mycelium's protecting Raylla, it's fine. The mycelium's got her. The mycelium's done this before. But now it doesn't seem like that's what's happening because the mycelium does not seem okay. So she's legitimately freaking out because now she really is in the dark about what's happening, where she was like convincing herself it'd be fine. And now she can't really convince herself of that super easily anymore. So it's like, wow, this shit just got real. I don't know what's going on. And she failed. She feels like she failed herself, failed Raylla, and then the unit. And then after that, she starts apologizing to them, like on repeat, like a broken record. Like, I'm sorry. I couldn't get her. I'm sorry. And just like collapses into Tally and Abigail's like, yeah, I forgot who was there. Tally and Abigail's arms. And just like they catch her, which is symbolic because they've been treating her like crap up until now, mostly Abigail. And here they are like supporting her when she's having an emotional breakdown. So hopefully this is a turning point with like respecting Scylla fucking finally. And Scylla just like breaks down literally in their arms. And it's just, it hurts. But they hug her back and they like support her, which is what she fucking needs. So thank you finally.
Abigail's face was like she was shocked.
I mean, yeah,
like,
she's never seen
really
Scylla
bad if Scylla's breaking down.
Correct. Exactly.
Because they're asking, because one of the first things, like when they actually focus on Scylla is like, so did you get to Raylla? And that's when she breaks. And it's like, oh shit. We really do need to be like shocked right now. We are shooketh because Scylla Ramshorn is crying in our arms. This is not normal. What is going on? The world is backwards. What the fuck? The only point I give Abigail in this entire episode is when she tells Nicte to back off of Scylla. It's the only point she gets.
I give her a point for actually catching Scylla too.
I see, like, yeah, I give her a point for that, but it was almost like it just okay, she's fallen, you know, she's coming for me. It's like, but no, she really does look like just like, oh fuck, we're really fucked. Yeah,
because she's built Scylla up as this like fake emotionless person, and here she is having a full-on breakdown in front of them, and has to confront the fact that Scylla's a human who really does love Raylla, who's losing her shit right now. And also, like, the whole time, I guess Scylla's almost had to kind of play Nicte to a certain extent too is like, we've been through this, we know what we're doing, like to support everybody. Because the whole time Abigail's been like, I don't have the army, I don't know what to do with myself, and like, cool, Abigail, but also like Scylla has this real legitimate problem happening that you don't have, and like was carrying the weight of this whole time, and then finally can't do it anymore. So it's like their strongest member just broke down, and that's scary when that happens. You're like, well, fuck, you were holding the ship together. Like, what the fuck? You're crying? Like, that's huge. That is the biggest red flag ever, is to have that character like break down.
It's kind of like revisiting seeing her mom break down in a very in a different but also similarly disconcerting way. Yeah. Because now oh fuck, the person that saves us every time something happens is falling apart.
That number one. And then number two, Raylla's the other thing. They're like, well, fuck, like that's Raylla, so two things. Yeah.
She doesn't know. She wasn't able to get to Raylla what the fuck's gonna happen, because basically Scylla's bearing the responsibility of what was going on with Raylla, so they didn't have to worry about it as much.
That was especially Abigail. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So especially Abigail. Tally had been worried about Raylla. Like, she keeps asking, but Abigail's just like,
in Abigail land.
She's
just like, and where's Kalita?
Yeah. So finally, when it's right in her goddamn face and she can't ignore it.
Yes. Yeah.
There we
she
go.
has to face reality. Exactly. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Scylla can't get to Raylla, then we're fucked. Raylla's fucked. Not in the way that Scylla would prefer.
Correct. This is the bad place, guys.
Yes, this is the bad place.
Bad place.
So, thank you, Amalia, for breaking everyone. That was super cool of you.
Yep. Ellie did this on purpose. You're like, you know who would make us all cry? We're going to give Amalia a really dramatic scene where she sobs to make everyone sad.
Yeah, not only is she going to sob, she's going to, like, collapse.
Yeah, like literally so devastated she can't stand.
I think at that point, a beautiful performance. Her entire body just gives out.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
It's like,
I mean, for Scylla too, that was what was keeping her going, was like, oh, Raylla's okay. Now Raylla may not be okay. And Scylla's like, well, fuck, and like literally falls apart.
So it'd be the equivalent of like her getting Raylla back for the short period of time and then just losing everything. The only thing that she's alive for.
You know what this sounds like? It sounds like Elliot's torturing Scylla because we don't have Raylla on screen.
Scylla's the new Raylla.
Yes, this would 1000% be a plot line for Raylla. Because where have we seen this before? My mom's been dead. Right. Oh my god, my mom's back. Oh my god, she's dead again. All in the span of like 30 minutes. She's the new Raylla. Why must you torture our faves like this? Why?
I'm afraid.
For episodes. You should be afraid, guys. Very afraid. Support your fellow Switches. Be afraid for hug each other. Hydrate yourselves. Check in. This is not going to be good.
Thinking we're going to need to hydrate for the necro for a while.
Hydrate. Hug somebody for Scylla. How about that? Because she needs emotional support. We do. It could be a pet, whatever. Hug something for Scylla.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I'm not going to get that image of her crying out of my head for a long time.
Never.
No. Because the last, like, you don't see Scylla cry.
Like that? Like, no.
No. I mean, the one episode, like, the one time you see her cry is when she's, like, in the dungeon and Raylla shows up.
Right. But it's that, like, visceral, like, desperate cry. This was her losing hope. Like, it was, it's scary. It's scarier than, like, that
losing hope,
passionate,
losing her mind, losing everything.
Correct. Yeah, this was despair. Yeah.
So, I guess we'll go back to the White House.
I guess. What's going on there?
M tries to check in with Sterling, but there's no answer. To which M
Dun, dun, dun.
gets worried, obviously, as we all are now.
Mm-hmm.
Sterling still won't answer, and so M tries to get in contact with Anacostia, who doesn't answer either. So M goes off to check the surveillance room, and there's nobody in there, but there's some kind of trail on the ground that leads to a closet.
Of blood, yeah.
Yeah, there's I couldn't, for some reason, like, my brain was not processing that it was blood. It looked brown to me instead of, like, reddish.
Old blood.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, M finds the surveillance guard that was there earlier dead with their throat slit, and then runs out of the room, runs into the room with the president. The agents are there, but there's no camera crew to capture the whole address to the nation that the president is supposed to be doing. Like, wouldn't someone question this? I don't know. Anyway, M says it's the camera crew and sends the agents to find said camera crew. Outside, we have a camera crew and a reporter.
We sure do. Fox News is back, guys.
Fox News is back. We go live is the only thing we get before an explosion happens, and there are mushrooms everywhere. But these are not the mushrooms that we're used to seeing. They're red.
Yes, they are.
This entire explosion was red. The mushrooms that are there as a result are red. And then we pan up through all of the rubble to Wade's body with the blood dripping down out of her mouth, and her eyes are open and looking into nothingness like she is dead. End of episode.
Okay. Mushrooms. So, mushrooms are red. Camaria's color's red.
Yep.
Is this the Camaria's manufactured witch bomb?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So, fuck them for figuring that out so quickly. First of all. This episode made me forever, I will be wary of camera crews. Because how many times have they fucked shit up in this show? Like, constantly.
No,
it's always the camera crew.
Anywhere,
I'm running.
I'm leaving.
Never. I'd be like, bye. Okay, no. And just look for mushrooms everywhere. Yeah. So the camera crews are evil in this world. Fair enough. Wade. Okay, so dead or alive? Because we still have scenes from the trailer that haven't happened yet where Wade's in them.
I think it's a fake death. I think she's alive.
Okay. Fake death. I'll go with you there. Because we have evidence she's alive later. So, like, that trailer they gave us for this season was a hot mess.
It was.
It ruins a lot of things and a lot of mystery. Bigger question. What about M?
M's alive.
M was in that room.
I think M's the one that finds her and gets her out of there.
And, like, fixes
and then
her.
Fixes her. And then that means that they have to do it Petra's way.
Yeah. Okay, I love that. The irony in all of this are like, see, wait, this is what happens when we do things your way. We need to do them Petra's way now. She's like in the ICU, like, okay.
And that's so.
Oh my god!
Like,
yes.
All right, we're gonna fake your death.
Yeah, I'm charged now. Because we need to smoke them out. Wait.
So,
oh my god, that's so funny. I agree.
Petra takes this as her opportunity to say, okay, we're going to get these assholes to show their hand and show us who they are, actually. They're going to think they won, But really, we're secretly working against them. That's my theory, that Petra's going to be the one in the end that has this grand plan.
Yeah. No, totally. I agree with all of that. And I would love it if there's a big, oh, the president really is alive reveal. And then they're like, well, fuck, now what? And also, I would love it at the same time if Isadora can figure out how to keep Penelope corporeal and then be like, look, your daughter's here too. Now you got nothing.
Yeah.
Let them go. Let the fugitives go. She's alive. Now you got
Exactly.
nothing. You're going to charge the unit for what? She's alive.
Mm-hmm. You fucked.
And then they
fucked up.
Yeah, then their whole plan just like crumbles. House of Cards. And then they sing the first song, and that heals the world, apparently. And then it's over.
Yeah.
That's Revolution Part 2. You heard it here
Raylla comes
first,
back
folks.
from the mycelium.
Does her super
Alder
witch
gets
bomb.
some more nachos.
Listen, Alder, you need to try other cuisines while you still have the time. I'm just saying, if you have a limited time, sample from around the globe, girl. Just like... I'd be eating everywhere. I'd be like, this year, does these goats make cheese? When she's talking to that guy, like, do you have any goat milk, goat cheese? Can we talk over food?
I totally feel that vibe. But I also ship Alder and nachos.
I mean, I love that that's what she was ordering at the bar. It was amazing. But, like, girl, eat everything.
Okay, so recap.
Yes.
Here we go.
Go.
The Marshals have the fugitives cornered. Scylla and Nicte break off since Scylla only had 3 salva stars, while the others jump off a cliff. Literally and figuratively. Adil makes a blood compass to find Kaitlynn. She's going north very fast, and they go to track her. Isadora and Anacostia give Wade the 411, and Kelly says she's not going to stand for all of this, and will make moves against Silver starting that night with her address. We're introduced to the representative from the Great River Council, Pauline Martin, and she and Wade negotiate so Silver doesn't get his hand in the session government. Scylla and Nicte have a fundamental disagreement about using civilians for their ride, but Scylla won't budge on killing anyone, and Nicte thinks she's gone weak because of Raylla. Projecting. Scylla and Nicte get caught by the marshal on the bus, but escape and keep running. They find an abandoned barn where they stop to rest against Nicte's protest because Scylla wants to try and contact Raylla. The Marshals catch up to them again, and Nicte and Scylla use the crows to mislead the Marshals. The dumb fight happens. Scylla's so focused on getting to Raylla that she's blinded. They're captured and taken off by the Marshals. Abigail pushes Tally to use her enhanced sight to find Kaitlynn because Adil's about to lose it. Tally sees Kaitlynn, and they go to the Two Rivers Roadhouse to find her. Turns out Kaitlynn was with Alder the whole time. And everyone has drinks and dances because Elayne has a super special seed to sing. Kaitlynn and Alder were both stewards of the first song. Alder and Tally go to confront Elayne, and that doesn't go well. They find a piece of the first song that Elayne stole, and Alder explains that if they put the pieces together, it'll heal the world and end the war. Sounds fake. Before they can leave, the Marshals have gotten there and captured everyone. Alder disappears. Kara is even creepier than Albie and is in charge, apparently.
I love that recap. Yes.
Albie is getting a vocal cord transplant.
Voluntarily, mind you.
Voluntarily. Wade tries to give her speech, but that's when the Camarilla make their move. The White House is blown up and red mushrooms are everywhere. What the fuck? Is Kelly Wade dead? Is him alive? What about Sterling? Anacostia? What the fuck? Who's alive? Who's dead? What's going on? And I'm just tired.
Yeah. That's episode 3.
Can I confess something?
Yeah.
I kind of want to live in the creepy mansion.
I mean, it does
I
look
like
cool.
I don't know. I just really like it. It gives me like British murder mystery vibes.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. Like the decor is like fancy but creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
There
as
you
long
go.
as they like bring us food, like I
Yeah,
would
for
stay there.
real.
Whatever.
Me too.
Sure.
As long as there's food. I mean, the we see in a preview the room Scylla staying in. It looks nice.
Right? They're roomy rooms. They got nice living
Mhm.
areas. Nicte, could be worse, girl. You were just sleeping in a barn.
Yeah,
Live
like
it
on a
up.
moldy mattress.
Yeah, you were in a jail cell before. Like, come on, girl. You be alright. Tally's
Yeah,
there.
it's gonna be cool. So I'm giving my award. This is really hard. It's really hard because everyone was dumb.
I know. Yes. Everyone was fucking stupid in this. I feel like I said that last episode too. Everybody was dumb. Nobody had the brain cell for like a significant portion of the time to have big wish energy. It was hard.
I don't know. It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Okay, and it's like the only person I can give it to is Tally.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the only one. I was also thinking like M for like
I thought about M.
like Tally did more stuff, honestly.
Tally, yeah, like we got M
Tally did
for
more
a very, very tiny amount of time. Tally never fucked up. Tally got
No.
we got to see her vision, like her user vision in like a fashion where it actually like
Yeah.
she looked
She controlled
at
it.
it. She controlled it and looked at a specific thing.
Yes,
So-
exactly. She directed it. Versus just being like, what the
And-
fuck did I just see about Nicte's face? That was weird.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And she was smart enough to just surrender to the Marshals when they showed up.
Yep, I had that. She had the brain cell. She didn't fight the Marshals.
Mm-hmm.
She did find the first song too, so she used her powers to find it and then knew to conceal it. And also
Exactly.
like her dance moves, she gets it for that too.
Damn,
She
she
let
gets it for that
loose.
too. I was
feel
like,
that too.
holy crap, look at her twirling. I love it.
Tally let loose for a little bit. So
She-
Tally
I
had the
mean,
most big witch energy in this
she did.
episode. M's the runner-up for me, but like Tally had the most.
I also just really love that she's out there dancing in that horse cardigan.
I was gonna comment on that. I love that she's like sexy dancing with that horse vest. It's so Tally. Like everything about that is so Tally.
I love it. It's so good.
I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, Tally craving everybody.
The Laura Neal Award,
Kara.
Kara,
Does
Or-
anyone else come close?
Ellie.
Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, Kara and Ellie. Ellie, you get it for writing this nonsense. I love this show, but what the fuck, Ellie? You know what? Yes, Ellie gets it for writing Kara and everything else that happened in this episode. Kara
Ellie gets
her
it
up.
because I had to suffer through Albie.
Yeah, I had to suffer through you being his mom / daughter /
lover
caregiver. And I can't
weird
with that.
incestuous lover weirdness.
Yes, that vibe in that scene was enough to give it to you. Because why? Why did you put that on paper and then make those actors do that and then make us watch it? So yeah, Ellie Edelson gets the Laura Neal
That
Award.
was non-consensual for me.
No, I did not consent to watch that, and good lord, I had to watch it multiple times to write these notes.
Exactly.
So you're paying our therapy, Ellie. What the hell?
Therapy bill's coming to you.
Good lord.
So for the next episode, we have Wade has been assassinated in the trailer.
I mean, they go through the whole shebang. There's a military funeral. Silver's being sworn in. Rose gives a bigoted speech immediately. Come on, guys.
Yep.
Did Ellie write the next episode too?
They make the whole explosion look like a witch bomb.
Ugh. They sure did. Ugh.
Silver brings in civilian oversight over the army. So
Great.
that blows
that.
chunks.
Yep. I mean, we knew that was going to happen.
We know what's going to happen, but Petra's like, oh shit, get the fuck out, but also what the fuck is basically what I got from that.
Yeah.
They captured Sterling and Anacostia, and they have them in a glass containment cage. And who should show up also in the glass containment cage at some point but Vera and some other
dude, Dodger
people
dude,
that I guess was with, I don't know. But,
her vampire crew, I guess.
vampire crew, I guess.
Yeah.
So we see in the trailer Vera wind striking Anacostia and the crowd going wild behind them, the crowd of bigoted assholes. So I'm figuring that they're doing like a Thunderdome witch style, you guys have to kill each other type thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because they're like in the background, the Camarilla people are like drinking champagne. So it's like gladiator matches for like their amusement kind of thing.
Yeah, and Albie's in his element.
Yep. He sure is.
The whole thing where it goes up to the when
right, they're provoking them. They're like, yep.
So Scylla's trying to contact Raylla again, but in a circle with blood on her hands. That's what it looked like was on her hands.
It looked like that to me too.
Because she's not holding something. It just looks like there's something on her hands.
I've heard people say blood and then dirt, but dirt doesn't look right because like it wouldn't look like that on your hands.
Yeah, it looks liquidy or like dried blood.
Correct. It looks like dried blood. Maybe they had to kill something to summon the death cap again. I don't know. I don't know why. Nothing else on her is bloodied or dirty or anything. It's just her palms of both hands.
It looks ceremonial.
It looks ceremonial.
Basically what we're saying.
Correct. I agree.
And you only see the people in the circle really from above, and it kind of looks like the marshal. Because I mean, I see a cowboy hat.
Oh, did you?
Maybe. Yeah, I saw a cowboy hat.
Okay. I saw 8. There's 8 people, I think, is what I saw. One of them's Scylla. I think one's definitely Abigail, Tally, Adil, Kalita, M, Nicte. I think the other one's Petra in the white coat.
Is it?
Because when we see them in later on, there's clips of like Petra and M in that session house. Petra had like a white coat on. I think it's Petra.
Did she have a beanie on at some point? Because maybe it's the beanie I'm seeing from above.
She has the beanie on. Yeah, I think it's Petra.
I think I'm seeing the beanie from above, and it's reading cowboy hat to me because I'm used to looking at the Marshals.
Totally. But yeah, I think that's what that is. So I'm wondering if like that dirt mound, I'm wondering if Scylla sacrifices something, they bury it, and they're trying to like do some necro magic. Maybe.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, but Raylla gets him back.
So Tally wants to see further than ever into the future, and she sees Raylla being taken down by some reddish pink light that's emanating from her chest region. And they're in army uniforms in this vision. So, WTF.
Yeah, and like the place, so this is that we got like a flash of this in the trailer. And so like the place Raylla's in, it looks like this cave with like black tentacles, and there's purple light too. So I'm wondering if this is like somewhere deep in the earth where like the witch plague is now infecting the mycelium, because I think what Albin's really trying to do is like weaken the mycelium enough and then infect it with the witch plague and then harness that for his own bastardized version of witch magic. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Raylla's sent down there to like witch bomb the witch plague, but it's like not working super well because the witch plague is there, and hence like that weird light that emanates out of her that's purple matches the room, and then she kind of collapses. So maybe it just doesn't go like the mother plans, perhaps.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
We also get a sneak peek of Scylla trying to use a dead mouse in her room with the death cap seed, and we see her inhale the spore mist that comes from the death cap that she ran her finger through in season 1 and tasted for some reason. But
right. In the steam.
And then she opens her eyes and looks like she's high for a hot second.
It's a necro thing, I guess.
It's a necro thing. And then
Necromancer.
footsteps approach and she says, Raylla? I don't think it's Raylla. I
No.
think it's the Marshal or something.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite of Raylla.
Yeah.
The Marshal.
It's like hearing her doing that work again.
Yeah, can you quiet down in there?
Yeah, it seems like that scene where we see them all falling down in the Marshals
the fun house. Yeah.
The funhouse scene. But also, I'd like to point out that in this sneak peek, Scylla has taken her jacket and hoodie off and is sleeveless, and I'm here for it.
Soak those images in.
There's nothing better than Scylla in nothing but a waistcoat and a little t-shirt with her little cuff jeans and her socks.
Always.
I'm here for it. Look at all those freckles. So many freckles.
Other thing I just wanted to add to your argument that it's Raylla is not there. There's another voiceover in the sneak peek or the preview where she's very desperately, she meaning Scylla is very desperately saying, Raylla, show me you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think she's still gonna struggle for the majority of the episode with like contacting Raylla. Like maybe the death cap works, but it's just like she's not getting a response from Raylla. Like the mycelium's like, what? Leave me alone. But it's not what she wants. Because like remember Mama Collar still like, Raylla, you can't have your phone yet. Like so the mother doesn't want them to talk yet, is what I'm saying. I think is happening. But I think Raylla's gonna fight the mother. Because I think we're gonna get the mushroom R on that dirt mound.
She's gonna have to. Scylla needs a sign.
Correct. Yeah, she needs a sign. And what's a better sign than like an R and glowing mushrooms?
I mean,
help a necro out.
Help a necro out. Make an R.
Make an R.
And hit me.
Yeah.
And Kaitlynn is losing it over here with "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
No, Kaitlyn's been losing it. It's way past her bedtime. Kaitlynn needs sleep. We will wrap this up really soon, Kaitlynn, I promise. Last thing I want to talk about is the After the Storm, because there's some interesting like future stuff in the After the Storm. So I guess what they're doing this season is they're just like giving the Afterstorm to like one character and like letting them like talk about their, or one actor, letting them talk about their characters, say their kind of like heartfelt goodbye kind of thing. So this time it was Lynn kind of talking about Alder. And the key thing in here, she talks about a lot of cool stuff, and Lynn's just like adorable and like says beautiful stuff about the fans. So like, please go watch it. But for like future episodes, there's clips of Lynn as Alder from like future episodes. So it looks like the mycelium's giving her this task to like find all the pieces of the first arc. She's still like gonna like go all over the world. They have like a scene of her in what looks like almost like a church basement. There's like stained glass windows that look like church themed, and someone hands her this like silver box with this like mechanical device inside of it. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but she's wearing a leather jacket while it happens, and I'm here for that.
Linen leather is a good thing.
It is.
That's pretty much all I saw.
Yeah. I mean, fuck that box. But I'm sure it's important, whatever it is.
I mean, the box is great and all, but...
Yeah, whatever. Lynn was in a leather jacket. Go watch that. So, yeah.
You know my weakness.
I know. Women in leather jackets. I don't know if it was waistcoat or not. I couldn't see. It was just like chest up. But leather jacket Alder is coming to a episode near you. And so I guess part of her quest is whatever this mechanical device is. I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll learn more about it soon, I hope. There's another scene of Alder in like a library. So Alder's a nerd, guys, confirmed. And she has this like, she's like reading a book and has this like look of epiphany. So I guess she needs to do research for the mother. Maybe she's figuring out what the fuck is this mechanical device. And she's in a library. Then there's another scene of her like traversing this mountain, a snowy mountain, and Tally's with her. So Tally goes with Alder for a little expedition in snowy mountains. So there's that to look forward to. And the last one was Alder blending into a market in Ethiopia because like the flag was in the background, or there's like a presidential sign and an Ethiopian flag. So she's literally going all over the world. So Alder's journey is probably going to be super fun. And I hope we get to see like witches from like different parts of the world when she does this too, because it'd be super fun way to world build, you know?
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. And that's all I got. Episode 3.
Yeah.
And more.
So
they need to stop spoiling us with all this stuff.
They need to stop spoiling us. And also, I hate it here for this episode.
Yeah. Also, Ellie, no more writing for you for Motherland for you. Please stop.
Cut off.
You're cut off. No more.
If you're gonna fight, if you're gonna like, listen, if you are going to make Scylla fight somebody, please make it be like someone we want to see her fight.
Kara, exactly. Why must
Kara, kill these people? Don't
just kill them.
Infighting never helped anybody.
Thank you. Enough with the infighting. Let them fight the actual enemy. Remember who the real enemy is, Ellie.
It's Ellie.
She forgot for this. She's the villain the whole time. She's the head of the Camarilla.
The mask off. You take the mask. That's who's at the head of the Camarilla.
I'm saying they're gonna be like, what? Yeah. Elliot shows up and has to like fight her.
Oh my god!
It gets real weird in later episodes, guys. I'm not ready.
Exactly.
I'm not ready.
I've never been ready.
No, I'm scared for episode 4. I'm scared, guys.
Yeah, I don't want to. At least, hopefully, there will be no actual dumbassness.
Yes, I'm hoping we move the plot, not just like set up the plot in the next episode. That'd be nice, so we can see the characters like grow, like all of them, not just like Tally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. So here's hoping next week we have more happy feels and less like why feels. So
yeah, this episode I'm literally that one meme of the white monkey thing going, why? Yeah. All right. Well, I'm tired, and I'm sure Kaitlynn's tired, and you're tired. So I say we call this one, and just hope the next time is more enjoyable.
Yep.
I mean, I enjoyed myself. I just also broke with Scylla, so
yeah,
not okay.
So send each other happy feels. Send us happy feels. Mm-hmm. We'll put funnier content out there to give you happy feels. So keep the happiness going until they crush us in episode 4.
Hey, I think everything will be okay when Raylla comes back. Yep.
So guys, we just got to get there. We got this.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll catch you guys later.
Yep, we'll see you for episode 4. And with that, we've been Big Witch Energy. If you like this episode, check out all of our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, comment below, and subscribe for more amazing content. Hydrate for Lesbian Jesus.